We are live from Toledo Bend, Texas, Edmond, Oklahoma, depending on which one you're looking at.
Ed, is
Todd is, Edmond.
that where you live?
Well, yeah,
Is that where
kind
you're
of, sort
from?
of. Yeah. Been in Norman so long. Yeah. Yeah. When you came to my house, that is in Edmond, Oklahoma. So you're at Toledo Bend.
Mm-hmm.
Are you at Kelly's house?
Yeah, I'm at Kelly's. I
I've
got
never, I've never been there.
that's the lake right there.
Oh. Mm. Are you eating your very own pizza again?
Yeah, man. Like I knew I had to get this thing at 8, so I couldn't cook. So I went and got I got this pretty good Works Red Baron. I don't know, man. I went to the dollar store, got me got me a pizza, got back with like just in time. It just came out, and I don't like. Yeah, I'm doing this eating. I don't care. I'm hungry.
Dude, you're jealous. I stopped and got some ribs and put them on the smoker this morning. And I went all day long. I did 2 racks, and they were probably the best ribs I've made in my life, probably today. But I get the pizza deal. Is my microphone working? Because I can't hear it in my.
You sound good to me.
Sound good to you?
Yeah.
Microphone check, 1 check. Yep. I think maybe I just need to turn on my headset. I think that's what it is more than anything. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. All right. So tonight we've got Zack King, and we also have Todd Castledineism. I believe I prefaced this with Zack the King and Todd Castledineism. Pretty good stuff. But dude, we've already got a lot of people on here already. Starting off with some viewers, and dude, it's been a while since we did this, Todd. I'm not gonna lie. Like 15 minutes ago, I was like, man, I better get in there and get this thing cranked up. And then when I got in here, I was like, oh crap, I haven't done this in forever.
I know.
I hope this works because like we'll pre-record them and we use Zoom to do that, not StreamYard, or I'm on your channel or I'm on Andrew's channel. And it's easy when you're not the guy having to do it because all you have to do is click the link, join in and play and have fun and hang up and go home.
Yep.
But this being on mine, I was like, I should have started this at least 15 minutes sooner than when I did. But luckily technology worked, and it was just a matter of logging into my account, and we are up and running. Zack sent us a text that said that he would he was 5 minutes from the house. Very much like Zack, not much has changed there. So give us a 4-run 1-1 on Toledo Bend since you're practicing for the Open.
Well, first of all, I feel weird drinking a beer, and here's why. So, who was I talking to the other day? Somebody met somebody was it co-angler or something, and was talking to me. Or not talking to me, talking to my buddy, and he was like, my name got brought up, and like, oh yeah, we watch his videos, man. It's great, man. He just drinks beer every day, gets drunk, and rants about stuff. And I'm like, well, and he goes, how do you know he's drinking beer? He's like, he's got to be. You should listen to him rant. And I'm like, oh man, I can do that. I can do that stone sober. I was like, trust me, none of that's drinking on those deals. If I'm ranting about something, it's 100%. I'm straight up hadn't had a beer.
That's hilarious.
I need one after Toledo Bend. You ever fish and like you want to go do something and it should be the thing to do?
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. You're living off of like what could be.
Man. Yeah. And I can't change, and I'm not going to. And if I had to come in second at Dardanelle, I'd be a little bit more bothered by it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I did come in second gives you that little bit of wiggle room of like, all right, I want to do good in this event, but it's not the end of the world if I don't. I mean, everything has to line up to win. And I don't really, this is one of those deals where I'm not worried about top 10 in it. Like I could care less about a top 10 here. I'm only doing one thing that I know I can win, today showed Holman, today showed the slightest bit of optimism. But we're so far apart from where it should be because like I'll just put it, I saw some today, but gosh dang, I didn't get hardly any of them to bite. And I think they're moving. They just need like 4 hours of sun. That's all they need. And we're not gonna get it probably, you know. I don't know. And the fishing's not bad. Like the fishing's actually pretty good. But I'm worlds apart of like what I want to do and the fishing part. Like they're 50 miles apart. And so I don't know what I'm gonna do, dude. I don't really care. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna put it all out there and just go. I did it today and just went for it, and I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And then the tournament comes, I'm gonna do it again. Even though I kind of know that it's probably not the right thing to go do.
Zachary, can you hear us?
That guy
Zack.
probably didn't even have internet at his house.
Zach.
Look at him. Oh, it's a black screen. Hey, what?
I don't know where he went.
I'm reading one. The water came up like over a foot. It's freaking crazy dirty and stained. It's really bad sight fishing.
Zachary, can you see us?
No.
Can you hear us? Hey, you got a camera on that phone. Start over from the beginning and come back in with the camera.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I was thinking about your 4-day deal was 4 days of sun was sometimes Mother Nature, when it's that time of year, you may not have to have the sun. You may just have to have some of this warm weather that we've got and warm nights. And
It's not just warm.
I know, but
I got a sweatshirt on. Dude, I had a sweatshirt on all day long today. I had a jacket on. It's getting to 70, but the wind is blowing. It's just the water's 63 to 65 degrees. That's freaking cold in April. I've never seen it this cold. I mean, it's warm enough for them to spawn. Don't get me wrong, but it's like they don't like it. I can promise you that they like to get up there. You know how them fish in the cold, right? They like to get up there, and then when you see them, they like to ease on off. They like to come back 3 hours later.
Look at this one. Can you read that? Are you on your phone or are you on a laptop?
I
remember the worm hatch story.
You know what I'm talking about, Brent?
Yeah.
The worm hat, man. We made that into the newspaper, and it was so good that we told this worm hatch story. It was so good, man. I think people still ask us a little bit about it today. Like, you know, like we tried to make it a thing. Like it was like serious, you know, like, oh, they're be out there and the worms be hatching. Yeah, the worms were hatching as we kept throwing our worm up into this one spot. They kept on eating. That was the worm hatch.
Yeah, it's funny to listen to him tell the story because he gets all wound up talking about it.
Yeah, I want to talk. This is the crazy part. So there was this one. It was a spot about the size of a vehicle in the middle of a giant, massive flat, like in the middle of a creek. I mean, in the dead middle of a freaking flat creek. And me and Brent figured out somehow that we were worried that someone was going to start on it because it was so good. And it was in a place that no one fit. Like the good chance, like you will never see a boat there anyways. So we were able to like take off that morning before daylight and start fishing at whatever time it was. I think it was the summertime. So it had to have been like May or June. I think it was June. So, you know, it was like light at 6. It's like 5:15. and I think my GPS had gone out on my boat or something. Dude, we drove the north end of Rayburn through stumps, boat lanes, and all this stuff on Brent's phone on his GPS, and he was showing it to me, holding it in front of my face in the pitch black as I'm driving. You know, it doesn't have a line or nothing; it's just an arrow, and I'm driving his phone through the dark on Rayburn. It was not our smartest move, dude. We never saw a boat for the first 5 hours. No one was going to start there. We had it in our heads that someone was going to start on it.
I'm listening to you and I'm laughing at Zach at the same time.
He has no idea how to do this, does he?
Look at this, what I just put on the screen. I bet he's throwing stuff like it's a 5-minute deal. Like we're only going to be here a while. I was like, calm down, dude. You're going to get in here.
You
got me?
Hey,
You got me?
Yeah, we got you. Hey,
About time.
lay your phone. I turn your phone sideways.
Turn my phone sideways.
Oh,
look at there. I had to come out here to the boat. My phone was dying. Softball games, baseball games. Man, it's a never-ending deal. What's up, guys?
I was getting tickled. Your daughter was on here saying he's terrible with technology, and I was thinking, I could hear you screaming and throwing stuff, and I'm like, dude, this ain't a 5-minute deal. Like, take your time, calm down. I sent you a text. You're like, we're gonna be here. Todd's just eating pizza on the shores of Toledo Bend, reminiscing on whether 5 days of sun's going to make a difference in his tournament or 5 days of clouds going to make it really bad.
Is it going to make a difference?
Oh yeah,
Not
a good way for me.
Not in a good way. You sandbagger.
Here's one for both of you.
Yeah.
Look, read the screen. Can you see your screen right there? You see what that says at the bottom? All right. These are questions. You can answer that, Zach. You
okay.
Yourself. I actually read that you caught some sight fish.
Oh yeah, I did.
Your victory last week.
Yeah, I did actually. If I didn't have a co-angler with me, nobody believed it because I actually hooked a 4-pounder, got it halfway the boat, and it come off. And I did one of them Hallman tricks, flipped right back in there, and I caught her and weighed her. And it was a 4-pounder. And I was like, my co-angler's like, dude, you're going to win. But yeah, I mean, if y'all can contest to this as well as I do, if they're up and they're spawning, they're going to stay there. I mean, if they're up doing their deal, I've never seen them move off. Now they might slide out a little deeper, but I mean, for the most part, up here, I'm just saying up here on this river end.
Yeah, y'all got them fish that know that they have like 3 days to spawn.
I was going to say they get it done in 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, because it's going to come up 10 foot, go down 10. Like,
oh yeah,
it's going to freaking rain. I mean, they know they get it done.
Yeah. Hey, and today is kind of funny. I went today, and the water is 2.5 foot lower up here from when we fished, Todd. It's insane. They shut the flow completely off. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's no good. They ain't gonna have a good spawn.
No, and they hardly ever do. They do it. They do it every year. When it floods, it's good here. We have good spawns, but I mean, when it's normal, it stinks because they fluctuate in the water so much.
What do you guys do when the water comes up 6 foot and the water's in the 60s and they ain't
Stay at home?
Stay at home.
Stay at home.
I think sure hanging out there fishing for fun. That's for sure. No, absolutely not.
So you had a hectic afternoon, Zach, between ball games and making it home tonight, or what? Practice?
Practice, and then I thought I was going to get pulled over. Luckily, I didn't.
What are you going to pull over?
Speeding.
You weren't stealing rocks, were you?
No. I wasn't doing that. Absolutely not.
Dude, that rock worked so good. I was so proud of myself.
I cannot believe that. I see them pictures and I'm like, he pulled that off. I couldn't believe it.
Dude, in 5 minutes, I fixed the whole thing.
I can't believe that, man.
Oh, man. people don't know. I didn't grow up with nice things, so I had to like. That's how Kelly met me. Kelly met me at a hotel in Del Rio at Lake Amstead.
Yeah.
And I had a hammer out there, and I was hammering on my trailer.
Yeah.
Now, I was hammering this freaking piece of. I was out there like breaking nails. So I broke like 4 nails, and I got them the right size, and I was putting them in where my trailer brake is, because my trailer brake was moving. I got like 4 nails, and I wedged them all in there, and I freaking taped it all up. And I said, man, this will work for my 8-hour drive home. And it did. It probably lasted like that for 6 months, just so my trailer brakes wouldn't, like, you know, that slack you get.
Oh yeah.
Kelly's like, oh, this guy will freaking make something happen. I am not like MacGyver or nothing. Don't get me wrong, but I'll mess around with something.
You'll mess around and make it work without having to spend a bunch of money. You're putting the original parts back in it.
100%. I gotta sell it.
Oh man, Holman.
Yeah.
I got to tell one on you, buddy.
All right, let's hear it.
You ain't thrown any egg rigs out there at Grand lately, have you?
You gonna tell that one, are you?
I got to tell this one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. So Todd, Holman called me one time. He's like, "Hey man, what you doing?" And I said, "Nothing. I'm sitting at your house. What are you doing?" He said, "Come fish a tournament with me at Grand." I said, "Okay." And he said, "You throw that egg rig a bunch, don't you?" And it just come out, and I said, "Yeah, I threw it quite a bit. You know, I'm top 10 at Kentucky or something on it, Kentucky Lake." And he said, "Man, come over here and show me how to throw this thing." I said, "Okay." So I hop in the truck and stay the night, and we get up next morning, we take off, and we start on this point. He said, "This point right here's got some big ones on it." And I fired my egg rig out there, and I catch one like a 2.5 to 3 pounder. Holmes said, "Man, you're gonna make me get it out." So he opens his rod box up, and he pulls that thing out, and he picks it up, and he fires it. When he fires it, the whole rod reel, egg rig, and everything goes in the water. The whole thing, the whole show goes in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And we spent probably 20 minutes trying to sing that thing.
We caught it. You said, don't leave. I said, screw it. Just leave it in there. I don't want to throw that thing anyway. You said, well, I've got 7 hooks on the end of my rod. I guarantee you I can catch it again.
Yep.
And he went over there and caught it.
We got it. And he said, come on, let's go. Pick trolling motor up. We went flipping the rest of the day, didn't we?
We went south.
We never threw it again. We never threw it again, did we?
Didn't we end up catching some on a bed that week?
Dude, yeah. He caught him there was a big one you lost in the back of that one pocket, and I think you broke your rod set the hook. Because we had the boat pulled all the way up in the slip, and it was on the back side of it.
Of a stall.
It's a big one. It was a big one. But yeah, we ended up catching quite a few on the bed. Let me get my chair over here.
Yep, no hurry.
See you later.
Nothing like rookie guys on the video. I love it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, man, I ain't never done this before.
Well, I don't know why not, because you're wonderful entertainment.
I guarantee I am.
Hey, do you even know how? So this is how I even know that. Do you even know how I know you, Zack?
No, I just remember beating you at that top 10.
You're right. So
yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and so you got to know though, Zack. Holman knows what I'm about to say. One, I'm like the only guy from Texas there, right? Because at the time, I think that was a Central Division, and so no one from Texas was fishing that division. Yeah. And I had started doing, I'd already told Holman I was going to start, that's how I got with Holman fishing Grand. Was I was like, hey, I'm gonna start fishing the Central Divisions from now on, just to broaden my horizons. Well, I get up there, and it's top 10, and you're up there. And you're going whatever, and I'm pretty quiet. I think the only one I really knew there was like Evan Barnes, and so you're going off about something, but you're, and I don't know why Holman's like froze. Look, he froze. It's his show, and he's gone.
I know he's gone. He ghosted us.
You're going off telling these wild stories, and don't take this the wrong way, because I'm the same way at times. We're like, you're loud and you're your James Watson freaking storytelling. And
I'm not that loud.
yeah, well, no, maybe not that loud, but at the time, when I was sitting here listening, and I was like, all right, this guy's either an absolute moron or he's actually pretty cool. I'll give you the reason why I chose the latter was because you were talking to Ron Lampin.
Yeah.
And Ron Lampin, I'm pretty good friends with Ron Lampin.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, we'll talk to each other on the phone to this day.
Yeah.
And Ron's not exactly just friends with anyone.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, okay, if this loud guy is freaking like this, but Ron would, like, you and Ron were telling stories and talking about, I said, oh, so it was Ron Lampin that kind of like told me, like, gave me the assurance. I'm like, well, if Ron likes him,
yeah,
he must be a pretty good dude. So from then on, I was like, all right, Zack's all right. But I didn't know. I always give everyone a fair chance. But
yeah.
you got the right away right from Ron, because Ron, like, I just trust anything Ron does.
Right.
But yeah, that's how.
Yeah, man, he's a really good guy. You know, I met him through fishing. Well, when there was a Central Pro-Am, or those not Central Pro-Ams, there was the Costas, and it was a Central Division. Like I said, I met him through those fishing, and you know, we got to be good friends and stuff. And he was always like, "Hey, man, you need to come up here to Kentucky and catch," because he's a big crappie fisherman,
big time,
crappie fisherman. And he's like, "Man, you need to come up here and fish crappie and all this stuff." And so if we had time, I would. But yeah, he's a real good guy.
Yeah,
real good guy. But
I got a story to tell that I guess I got to tell it. I got to wait till Holman gets back.
Yeah, wait till Holman. Yeah. Hey, did you get your trailer fixed?
Yeah. So I went straight there and dropped it off. I mean, I dropped it off, and while I was talking to him, within 3 minutes, he took it off.
And took it off
and put another one back on there, and then he kept it because I needed my 20-hour Yamaha service.
Right.
So I dropped it off, and I needed a place to keep it while I was in Dallas for a day or two.
Right.
So I came back and got it, and now I'm here, and now I got to go. Yeah, whenever I'm going with here, I'm going straight to like Palestine, because me and Russell got a Brandon Belt tournament. So it kind of depends on if I make the cut or not.
Right. You liking that new show?
Yeah, I ain't had. This is my second one. My other one I just got detailed like today. Man, so when you call me, so the last 2 days, I don't think I've had a single phone call for like 2 days.
There he is. He's back.
Dude, I have no idea. I can't believe y'all are still on here. That's incredible that it kept going.
Yeah. You kept the show going, dude.
I texted y'all. The power, I mean, the power just blinked. That's all it did at my house, but it knocked my Wi-Fi and everything out.
Oh, man.
I mean, it just blinked, and I'm like, what the? And everything was gone. So I was
everything.
Like, oh, you did.
Wow. That's awesome. Y'all are still rolling. Good deal.
So I'm sitting there and I forgot what I was saying. Oh, anyway.
The show.
Yeah. This is my second one, but yeah. So I hadn't had a phone call in like 2 days out there on the water. Nobody's called me. And today, before like 8:30, I guarantee you I had 9 or 10 phone calls. Like, you called, Holman called, Andrew called, my banker called, the guy that's fixing my boat. Like, dude, it was like one after another, and I was like, what is going on here? So, and then I got done. By 9:30, I didn't have any more phone calls for the rest of the entire day. But yeah, I got it all done.
Well, that's good.
And when you called me, I was not having. I caught like a 3-pounder on the phone with you. I don't know if you could hear it even jumping. And then I don't know what it is, man. I'm worn out. Like I'm beat. Like I haven't felt this. I feel okay now, but when I wake up in the morning, man, I'm hurt. I don't know if I'm old or what's going on, but I'm not doing good. I'm tired, worn out.
Today is Tuesday.
You're wearing me out talking about it.
Are you just going to take tomorrow off, or what are you going to do?
Oh man, tomorrow's the most important day.
I know it.
I'm about to say the same thing, man. You're wearing me out. You're making me tired. And I'm like, are you going to fish tomorrow?
Oh, I'm fishing tomorrow. I hear AJ up there.
Dude, I can hear you inside.
Don't worry about it if you can hear me inside. You want to come down here and join the party?
Hey, get AJ on here. Then we'll have lose.
Hey,
Get down here.
Hey, AJ, Holman wants to talk. Holman wants you on here.
We'll have all 4 states in our region
Don't
on
ask
here.
why.
You know Aaron Johnston? Zack, I'm sure you do. I guarantee
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
He just went down a point because I asked him to come down, and he goes, "Why?" Listen, my mom taught me a long time ago when I was real young that hey, you went down a point, and
Went down 10 points for me.
Yeah, she said, if anyone ever asks you to go do something, and what I mean by that is like uncle, like people they're like, hey, you want to go somewhere? Don't ask, hey, where are we going? Or, man, just jump in the car.
Yeah.
I always because my uncle would ask me, like, you want to go somewhere? I'm like, yep. And I can promise you this, every time any of those, my family or anybody ever asked me to go somewhere, it was freaking always worth it. Aaron went down asking. This is the best thing Aaron will do in the last week. We can ask him about the Red River and how it sucks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, ask him how Toby.
Oh yeah. So I asked him who won that thing the other day. He didn't know. I forgot about that.
Toby Hartzell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Toby won it.
Yeah. Yeah. I ran into him. I had to do a seminar. I went down to Brandon's Tackle down there, in Northeast Texas. Yeah. And Friday they had some kind of like their tournament, their annual deal. Anyway, I went down there and did a seminar and was there for about half a day. And I'm standing in Brandon's talking to different people. And Toby Hartzell walks in the door, and I'm like, what in the hell are you doing down here, from Grove, Oklahoma? He said, I'm headed to the Red River. He said, I got into that Bass Anglers Championship deal, and he said, I'm going down there. And anyway, as he pulled out of the parking lot, I was thinking that dude may win. Dude, his cowling, Zack, you talking about a guy to be proud of. Like, you'll appreciate this. His cowling on his nitro, I have never seen such. Like, I tear up my stuff. But his cowling had so many cable burns from going around docks and going under docks. You know what I'm saying? The cables at Grand Lake.
Yeah.
Dude, it looked like it had been through 5,000 cables is what.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, dude, do you even try to take care of this thing? Why don't you just take it off your boat when you go fishing? Just like take the cowling off. Be done with it.
So what's he do? Like drop his power poles halfway down?
I don't think he does. Like, that's what I do to like let the power poles kind of take the abuse. I think Toby just
he said heck with it. He said heck with it. He just
On YouTube. Oh, YouTube.
Hey, so he still don't know who. So this is like King of Red River, and he still don't even know who won the tournament.
Now look, man, I'm old school king. I'm not king anymore. It's changed.
You're not.
No.
Well, no one's king anymore.
No, the throne is open.
Oh, that's the King of Dardanelle, Zack King.
Yeah, he kicked your ass.
Well,
I mean, you know what you could do.
Yeah, I did all I could do. What's James calling you for?
Oh, James Niggermeyer? I don't know what he's calling. I mean, we can put him on live too, but he's kind of shy.
Yeah, he is shy.
Yeah.
Put him on there. Hey, no, do it.
Call
Put him on. Yeah, do it.
Hey, James, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing, man?
Good. I just saw that I missed your call.
Oh, I was just calling you when you texted me earlier.
Hey, James, this is CastAline. Hey, you're on live right now on YouTube with Bradley Holman, Zack King.
Oh, hey.
Hey, what's
buddy.
up, Niggermeyer?
How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting over a sinus infection and getting a little bit better every day, but I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Hey, Jay. So the first Bassmaster Open I ever we're talking about how Zack King freaking whooped my butt last week at Dardanelle. I'm glad James called. It makes me feel right at home because the first Bassmaster Open I ever fished, I came in third. Guess who won? James Niggermeyer.
Yeah.
I got all the guys that remember the first time I ever fished Grand? Yeah, Bradley Holman beat me while I was leading the event after day one. This is fun. This is fun, guys. I didn't know I was going to just bring all the guys.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels real good.
Yeah.
Well, hey, James, look, I just kind of walked into this deal a few minutes ago. So when you called, I thought that misery loves company. So I went ahead and answered.
Well, I appreciate it, AJ. Thanks for thinking of me.
I'm not even sure what the topic is. on this. I have no
we ain't
idea.
even got to the topic yet.
We have no topic.
Nah, we don't do topics.
Okay, got it. Well,
Tell James
you want me to,
Tell James you'll call him back.
Yeah, you want me to call you
Yeah.
back, bro?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'll call you back in a
Good
little
talking
bit.
to you guys.
All right, see you, James.
Hey,
Hey,
you
James.
too, man.
Bye.
Hey, speaking of topics, how's that wheel holding up on your truck, Common?
It's doing well. It's
Good.
mighty well. My buddy,
Good.
when I brought it back home, I took it back down to Kenny, and I dropped it off. He had my truck for 2 weeks, dude. And I
No
was like,
kidding.
yeah, I was like,
West Memphis.
it's just brakes. But then when I went and picked it up, like he went through the entire
He went through the whole thing.
Yeah. I think himself this time. And like he's like, dude, I've even got stuff marked. Like everything that I touch has got a mark on it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. And I mean, he
Yeah.
went and ordered parts. He put all kinds of stuff on that pickup truck. So he's like,
Man.
you're not breaking down for the next 100,000 miles.
No.
But anyway, you know how it
Good.
is.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
So
Listen.
did you tell the whole story? Did you tell them how all this went down?
Which part? We talking about the truck or we talking about fishing?
Your truck. You calling me and all that stuff. I know you kind of went through the
No,
little spiel,
I
but-
mean, well, obviously we did the YouTube video, but no,
Yeah.
I was coming back from Florida and I'd taken my truck to get my brakes and everything, new rotors put on before I even started the season this year because I knew that diesel, I was going to put
Right.
some more miles on it. And anyway, it caliper comes loose and in the wheel and truck breaks down in West Memphis. And so I'm like digging on like, how the hell am I going to get fixed? So I call AAA and they basically tell me, and I pay, and I've had people message me too. I pay for the plus because I've got an RV as well.
Right.
And so I pay for the plus for my truck and trailer, but mainly my wife's the one that uses AAA all the time. I'm out of
Right.
town somewhere. She gets a flat tire. They come out and fix it on the road, whatever. Anyway, I break down. I tell them, hey, I'm in West Memphis. And this lady just starts giving me the runaround about how, well, we'll get your truck, but your boat's going to have to stay. And then your truck's not technically covered because you got a 6-inch lift on it. And so therefore
Yeah.
it's not really under the insurance package. And I'm like, well, look, first of all, I leave my truck here before I leave my boat here. And she's like, well, that's where we are right now. If you need something else, call us back. And I'm sitting there thinking, who all do I know? And I think of you. And I'm like, but you're on the other side of Arkansas.
Yeah.
So I'm like calling Zack. So I probably hadn't talked to you in 6 months or a year.
Yeah, it's
long
been a long time.
So I call you and you answered. It's a Sunday and you're out with your family doing family stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, dude, this is what I'm doing. And I really wasn't calling you like for you to come get me. I was
Yeah.
calling you for like advice on who I could call around the area. Anyway, we get
Yeah.
kicking it around and you're like, dude, them guys are going to charge you $700-800 to tow it 10 miles. And he's like,
Yeah.
you were like, don't leave your boat in West Memphis. And then you said, I'll never forget. You said, dude, you'll get shot and killed if you stay there.
Guarantee you.
True.
I said,
It's true.
I said,
It's
is it that
true.
bad? You said,
It's bad.
Coleman, it's worse than Little Chicago. And I said, well, I ain't got a lot of choices. You said, yeah, you do. I'll come get you. I got a boy. He'll come get you right now. I'll just call him.
Yep.
Want me to come get you? And I was like,
Yep.
yeah, come get me. Hell,
And
it'll
I
be-
said, I'll get you closer to home too. And I have you fixed in the morning.
yeah, I'll never forget this. This boy's driving, and I'm doing my social media because I'm like, hell, I got to make a good thing out of a bad thing,
Yeah,
I'm sitting there
absolutely.
wasting 3 hours. I'll never forget this. I'm clicking through social media and I see this. I've been probably waiting about 2 hours, and I see this message come across from somebody I don't know, and it says, "Hey, I'm your daily record driver. I'm only 60 minutes away from you. I got to hammer down and I'll be there in a second." And it was him, dude. I look at it and I look up his profile and like,
Yep.
he's coming to get me.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
your
told
daily
him, I said, man, I got a long tow, but I said, you might want to go get this one. And he said, who is it? And I told him, he said, I'm on my way.
He was fired up, dude.
He was already in the record rolling out.
Son, I was one happy son of a gun. When we
I'll
got
tell
my
you
truck
what.
loaded, my bass boat was behind it, and we were headed west. I was like,
Heck yeah.
oh,
Yeah, that's and that's, I don't know. I guess that's one good thing about, having friends in low places, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
There's always somebody in that phone that you can call.
Well, that's actually
getting
why
behind.
when I heard Todd say AJ was in the house, that's why I was like, tell him get on here. Because there is 4 of us. I'm from Oklahoma, Todd being in Texas, AJ being in Louisiana, and you being in Arkansas. The 4
Yeah.
of us. How old are you, AJ?
I ain't gonna tell you, man.
40. He's 40. Hold on. I know. 46 or 8.
I just turned 50 today.
Oh man, I was really.
I'm-
happy birthday. I didn't
I'm
know.
48. Todd is
Today's my
40.
birthday.
How old are you, Todd? 41, 42,
I'm 43.
50.
43. How old are you, Zach?
44.
44.
Yeah.
The four of us all know each other from many, many years of doing this sport. And that's what a lot of people that are watching this don't realize. And I was actually thinking about this today. You know, you got that trophy at Dardanelle.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of how many hours. And I've got somewhere behind me is one of them for Grand Lake. And
Right.
Todd's got one from Rayburn, and AJ's probably got one from the Red. If he doesn't, he damn sure deserves one.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
he's got-
Wait,
he-
a what?
Hold on.
Yo,
I got 2. I got one from Kentucky Lake. I got one from Sam Rayburn. If you're
from
talking
Rayburn.
about
Well, so Rayburn's kind of like your home pond because I mean you spend a lot of time down there.
the Open Toyota Series level, I got those.
Right.
Right. Well, I was just talking about like on our home water trophies. You know what I mean?
Two. I messed those up.
But you're going to get my point on this. Is like if we could put the four of us could put how many thousands of hours, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours that we spent on each one of those ponds. And AJ spends a lot of time at Rayburn. But all of us have spent so much time on all those bodies of water for those to happen. That's why they mean so much to all four of us. I know it is because they don't come around very often. They're just they're so hard to come by.
Yeah. Especially, you know, I think it's harder to win on your dang home pond than it is to win somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, so it's,
I mean,
well, here's the crazy part. Like you said, I've been to Dardanelle 3 times. The first time I was going into the final day with a 7-pound lead.
yeah.
And this time I finished second. I've only been there 3. I've had 3 events in my entire life there, and I've got a second and a fourth. The Grand, Grand Lake. First time I was there, I was leading after day 1, and I think I've got 3 or 4 top 10s. I mean, it's funny because Mark McWall was talking about Angler of the Year deal, and he was like, he was talking about Rayburn, right? And he was like, they go to Rayburn quite a bit and this and that. And I'm like, hey, when they go to Rayburn, I suck. I do all, like last year, my only top 10, Texoma. The year before, another lake. Like I always catch them better at the other lakes. And Rayburn, we just try to survive Rayburn.
Right.
I mean, I know I've won one there and I've had a couple top 10s, but for the most part, I do way better at other lakes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We had the first Angler of the Year I ever won. We went to Amstead, Texoma, Rayburn, Toledo. Rayburn was my worst finish.
I knew going into Dardanelle this year for you, Todd, like after that last event that you had there, and then we talked and you were headed off to soccer games in Texas, like in the middle of practice, and Todd was like tore up, right? He called me like he needed mental support. He's like, I'm leaving practice. He's like, I'm leaving practice and I'm missing practice, but I'm going to ball game. I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm doing the right stuff, but like it still is kind of bothering me. He was basically calling me, just talk me through this because I know I'm doing the right thing, but like I'm like, dude, you know what you're going to do? And he's like, I know. He goes, you're right. And I was like, just go do your thing. And so, I just had a feeling that he was going to have a good time if things set up for him.
I called Hackney up on my drive home. I wanted to talk to him about, even though I like to figure it out during the tournament, I didn't figure it out till day 3. Like when it's all set, and there was no way to figure it out until tournament day. You know what I'm saying? Like tournament day, because you can't just sit around and fish and fish and fish and keep showing them everything in practice.
Right.
But I also didn't figure it, like normally I think I figured out a lot quicker. I didn't. Day 3 is when it started clicking, and I was running like I got it all. Like I was calling shots, and I was going, "This is it." But on day 1 and 2, it was like I was just a free for all. I didn't know what I was. I mean, I knew how to get some bites here and there, but I had it down on day 3, but I don't know how do you practice that? I was wanting some advice going, I don't know if there is an exact answer for it, because I like to figure stuff out during the tournament and less in practice.
I think it's better. I think you're better off figuring it out in the tournament.
Yeah, but
I do. I mean, I do.
No, I totally agree with you, but it just took me so long on this one.
Yeah.
You got to have.
Well, you've always
I
been
got
good
ideas,
here.
but
I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
you've always done good here, and I was, on the last day, they was like, who you scared of? And I said, freaking Todd Castledineism. And they're like, what? He's in 10th. I said, it don't matter. He's caught him here before. And I said, that boy can catch him. No, I wasn't worried about anybody else.
Well,
And you figured them out. I mean, you had freaking 20 pounds on the last day. I mean, you had one of the biggest bags of the tournament.
Yeah, me and you were talking because I was like, you said, man, it's just hard to catch one over 4.5 to 5.
All right.
And you're like real big ones. While I was catching them 4-pounders, I was like, that's all I had,
Yeah.
But I was like, God dang, man, I knew that was my limit. Well, I'm sure I could have caught one bigger. Obviously, there's a chance, but those big ones aren't there like those real big ones. It was, that first year we came there, I had a 6, and I
know the big ones was here then. Yeah.
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 So I was like, there's a limit as to what I thought I could catch. And I thought I hit that limit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about here right now, 4 pounds. I mean, last year, I'll tell you this, last year we fished a tournament, me and my partner, Brandon Lee, and we had 22.45, I think. And that was that was the biggest bag last year, but our biggest fish was 487. That was our biggest bass.
Yeah.
And we had 22.40 something. So, like what I was telling you, when we talked before the tournament stuff, I mean, that 4 pound range is pretty much it.
Well, and y'all were asking me in the bag line, like, what do you got? And I'm like, well, look, if I'm off by 1/4 pound, because they all look the same. Yeah. I have 18 3/4.
All right.
Right. But instead I did have basically all 4, maybe I had a 4.3 and a 3. But I was like, look, man, if I'm off by 1/4 pound, they all look the same. I'm not saying back. I don't know if it's the 18.5 or 20 1/4.
Or the big 20 or 20. Yeah. 20 1/2. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so because I didn't have a big one, I was like, man, I don't have a big one. They're
all same size. They're all 4 pounders.
Hey, so here's the story. So yesterday I'm on the water and Stephen Metter calls me.
Yeah.
Y'all know Stephen?
No, I don't.
Man, he's like freaking Arkansas king of like Beaver Lake and he freaking crushed them. I drew him the final day in the first Toyota I ever did on Grand Lake.
Right.
And we were call catching them sight fishing. None of our co-anglers had caught a fish in 2 or 3 days. In 2 days, and I draw this guy. I'm sitting in 3rd or something, and I was talking to him, and I didn't know him, and I was like, "Hey, man, it's gonna be kind of tough out there," and he's like, "It'll be all right," and I'm like, "Well, I'm just saying, I don't know, man, it's gonna be tough. I'm looking at him, but man, if you do, he's like, don't worry about me, I'll be fine," and I was like, "Well, whatever." Man, by 8:30 or 9, he's culling, and I was like, "Oh, this guy can fish." He blew it out. He won the tournament easy. I think he won 2 or 3 of them. Came in second a couple times. I mean, he can absolutely fish. Me and him become really good friends. Well, he calls me up the other day because my co-angler for the day 3, and I was gonna send my co-angler from day 3 a text message going, "Hey, man, no offense, you ain't let me know about this."
Yeah.
But, they're on Beaver Lake, and he watched it all go down on day 3. And he said, and he knew Steven, and we talked about Steven and a bunch of stuff. So anyway, Steven calls me up. He's like, "Well, I came in second this past weekend." I said, "Oh, okay. Whatever." He's like, "Yep. Some guy beat me, and he just happens to know you." I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah. He fished with you on day 3. And I was like, "No joke." He goes, "Yep." He told me he was doing something. He did whatever he did was exactly what you were doing at Dardanelle, came up to Beaver. And he goes, and freaking beat me. Thanks a lot. And so I haven't texted him to find out exactly. I'm sure I know what he was doing, but yeah, he did. Steven said he told him that he was like, whatever Todd did, I did the exact same thing on Beaver, and ended up. So I was like, I'm gonna text him here in a little bit and be like, hey man, I need a little bit of like, hey, you know, $100, $50, something. I
Yeah, but no kidding. Give me a little kickback for that.
Yeah, kickback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh man, come on.
You talk in circles, man. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Todd talks in circles.
And pronouns, circles and pronouns, man.
Pronouns. I don't even know what a pronoun is.
Exactly.
Is that a his, her thing?
No, it's just that. It's that. It's like you talk in circles and pronouns. I don't even ask you questions anymore. I don't want to even because it's a circle of events that make no sense whatsoever. So I just don't even ask you.
They make
But it was the stuff, and it was the this, and then it.
Oh, that's true.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And you walk away, and you're like, I don't even know what he's talking about.
Whatever's in there, and it was whatever, man. It was whatever.
That's Castledineism, is what that is.
Castledineism.
Yeah. Yeah. He can tell you exactly how every fish he caught at Dardanelle for 3 days. I promise you, he can say it right here on public, and none of y'all at the end of it, and it'll be a 50-part series, and none of y'all will understand a single word about what actually happened in those.
See, I still hadn't figured it out because we ate dinner the other night after the tournament. I still have no idea what the hell he was doing. So
exactly. Or where he was. You might know where he was.
I have no clue where he was, what he was throwing, how he was catching them. So I'm just like, heck with it. I ain't even gonna ask again.
It's the pronouns.
All I know is everyone they were like, well, you did a good job coming second. I was like, yeah. I was like, I gotta learn how to drive over cornfields. And they go, what? I said, I don't know. Zach showed me this picture of a cornfield, and there's a prop line going through a cornfield, and that's what I need to learn.
I'm telling you. Yeah, it's pretty wild, you know. Matter of fact, the year, the one that you was leading, and I was in second behind you.
Were you in second?
Yes, I was in second behind you. That one.
What place did you finish?
I sucked because I threw my co-anchor out of the boat that morning.
Oh, that's what,
yeah.
That beaver dam.
Yeah, jumped the beaver dam. Yes, jumped the beaver dam. I mean, I'll come around the corner, I'm hooking it, hit the first sandbar, and I go around the corner, and I come around it, and I go to let up, and my throttle's stuck. And I'm like, what the heck? Well, guess what? It was one of them Longhorn skull cans I had stuck. And I reached down there and, oh yeah, there's no making this up, boys. And I popped that off her, and when I did, and you know how you run in like real shallow water, the back end of the boat will pick up because you let off the gas. It did that, and I went to get back in it, and my prop was completely out of the water, and I spun. But when I spun, there's a beaver dam there, and we hit the beaver dam, and I bounced over it. But when I bounced over it, my co-anchor turned sideways, and his head went in the pond. And it was cold that morning too. You remember that? It was cold. It was like 34, 32. Yeah, I know. Timeout. No, it legit happened.
It was a cold front that morning. That's
it was freaking cold.
Yeah.
Yes. And we had run 30-something miles all the way up there. This cat is soaking wet. Like soaking wet.
All right, Zach. Hold on. Time out, Zach. I got a question for Bradley and Todd. Bradley, you ever had your co-anchor fly out of the boat?
No, but I did throw one of my buddies out one time.
But that's non-tournament though, right?
No. It was jacking around on Texoma in the middle of a day in the hot summer. Yeah. No, not a tournament. Not a tournament.
Oh, I never thrown anybody out.
You ever lost anybody?
No.
Hey, Zach, look. I lost my co-anchor one time on the north end of this lake one right now.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes, I'm not the only one.
Yes.
I'm not the only one.
Yes. I was terrified, man. I was way up there. I was up north of Cow Bayou, heading towards the game reserve. You know, that river does this. And,
oh, yeah.
You know, it's one of them deals where you get off that river.
Are you on Toledo?
This lake right here. Toledo Bend.
Okay.
And it was early March. Okay, so water's still cold, like mid 50s, upper 50s maybe. And I missed one of those buoys, and I realized that I'm off the river, and so I cut it back, and the boat kind of bites a little bit, and I saw nothing but Nike swooshes flying out, man. That's all that went by me. It's just the swooshes out. Man, I was more terrified than he was. I got him back in the boat. He was fine. Older guy,
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
I had an extra set of Gore-Tex in the boat. I'm like, hey, let's go ahead and go back in. He's like, no, we're fishing.
Yeah. That's what my guy said. I said, man, I can push this all the way back to the back of this hole. And I said, we can run and we can get out of here. And he looked at me and he said, dude, we just freaking worked our butts off to get in here. I ain't leaving. It's too pretty in here.
Yeah, my guy was like, no.
This is crazy, man.
So we had an elite series on the Mississippi River. I don't know. This is like 2010, somewhere in there. And we were running this backwater area, and we're in the Mississippi, like way, way north up there, somewhere where you cracked them, I think, at one point, Zach. But we'd never been there anyway. This backwater pond, and I know that my roommate, Derek Rimmets, is coming in there too. And Rimmets is like boat 50, and I'm in the first flight. So I run in there, I get my picking spot, and I end up starting next to this guy, and we're kind of talking, and we're fishing, and like nobody comes. And this is like one of them backwater areas that, like, they're coming. Because like the whole river sucks. And then you get into this one backwater, and it's like bite. Nobody comes. And so I keep fishing 10, 15 minutes, and nobody comes. And I hollered across the deal at Menendez, and I was like, hey, dude, where's everybody at? He's like, I don't know. Maybe we got it to ourselves. And I'm thinking, we ain't got it to ourselves. Something's wrong. I kind of fish back towards the point where I can see the mouth of it. And now it's been like 45 minutes at this point, and nobody's come in there. It's just me and Menendez. And I see lights, and I hear a helicopter. Just what y'all are talking about. Rimmets hit something halfway through the canal coming running through there. His boat, does a 180 or whatever, and it's one of those steep, creek channel deals where it's just like, not much wider than a boat width anyway. And his co-angler, just what y'all talking about. Outside the boat. Yeah, and he panics, gets out, tries to find him. And this is a great story. He's not anywhere to be found. The dude is up in the woods. Yeah, and all the boats coming in behind him all stopped. And so now they're all up on the bank, all these guys trying to find him. They finally find this guy. He's unconscious. He's got blood running out of his mouth.
My gosh, almighty.
It's bad. And they're in the middle of nowhere. And Derek's like, what do we do? And Randy's like, I don't know, but I'll pray for him. That's what Randy said. And I swear to God, that's what Derek tells me. Randy bends over him, starts praying, and the dude wakes up within like 10 seconds. Comes conscious. Yeah. And they get on the phones, and
I've never heard that one.
There's no road to this joint. And of course not. Bass berries, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know how it is. FLW berries, they don't want the lawsuits. So they metaflight this dude.
We don't
out of the jungle. And dude, and I'm telling you, y'all know how it is. And we're in the middle of nowhere on a river system, and they metaflight him out of there. And he ended up, having a couple of broke ribs and a broke arm, something like that. But other than that, he was all right. He ended up, Derek went to the hospital that night and saw him, and dude was like, "Go catch him." What I'm thinking? How the hell can you fish, dude? Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. But I mean, he hit something that none of us had seen. We talked about it.
The next time I get a co-angler, okay. The next time I get a co-angler, I got it now. I love it.
Before you say it, you better turn around and knock on that wood behind you, because you're on a pond that you can eject a co-angler.
The next time I get a co-angler that kind of is a little pissy at the end of the day that we didn't catch him or he didn't, whatever, I'm going to look at him and say, hey, man, I didn't throw you out of the boat, okay? So it's not the worst day in the world. That's all I'm going to tell you. Like, hey, you didn't fall out.
You didn't get thrown out of a moving boat. Yeah.
70 miles an hour.
I'd hate to get thrown out on Toledo Bend with all them stumps.
No, they're all down underneath the water. I've run more stuff to this week on Toledo Bend, and I'm like, hey, it looks good. I've been running all kinds of stuff that I probably shouldn't have, but I ain't hit nothing.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Most of the stumps are,
Yeah.
the water came up a little bit.
Yeah.
AJ, I don't remember you being like Castledineism all buffed up. But I will say last fall when I fished around you, I was like, good God, he swelled the hell up. You haven't been that way your whole life, have you?
Hey, look, I'm just trying to stay relevant. I turned 50 today, man.
Man,
Well, you're doing a good job of it. Damn, you're like right there with Castledineism. Y'all could both like do posters and stuff with shirtless.
Look,
Y'all could do a shirtless fisherman
his phone
calendar.
He's got phone calls left and right, text messages.
Oh, you're single right now.
That's why. That's why if he wouldn't, he would look like this.
There ain't no single.
He would look like this.
I'm looking at this list over here on the comments. These are all dudes. How do I get on a female podcast?
Yeah.
What am I even on?
There's no females here, bro.
There's no female.
Hey, if you and Todd took your shirts off, we might get some.
Listen, we are not. We will never be on a poster together. Me and Todd. No, ever. Hey, I will tell you this though. The one thing I learned when that guy flew out of my boat is that I will never ever wear one of those inflatable life vests because that was almost what killed him. Flying out of the boat, was fine. He was struggling to breathe. That thing was.
Yeah, I don't wear those things.
So
yeah,
I'm just telling you guys.
Yeah,
good thing it worked.
It worked.
Good thing. Some of them don't work.
I had a co-angler fall out of the boat one morning, not while we were moving, while we were fishing, and he fell out wearing one of those that you're talking about, and it inflated, right? And he was an older guy. I mean, like in his 70s. And then he had to wear that thing every time we moved the rest of the day. And it's just like you're talking about. It was this big yellow.
Oh, man.
It was terrible.
What about when you, like, I don't ever do it, but like, I haven't ever done it with a co-angler. There's not a single co-angler out there in history that can sit there and say Todd freaking took a wave over the boat. I haven't done it. But, I mean, when them guys hit them waves with those things and they get freaking – those things will inflate on you, and then they gotta wear it like that.
I think.
And then they have to wear it all day. Yeah. They have to wear it. They have to wear it inflated.
I think we just cut it. I think we took the knife and just cut it.
Oh yeah. Well, and the thing is
that was back when I.
But if you do that, you don't have another life jacket in the boat.
Well, that was back when I carried two.
Hey,
now
well, I'm just saying though, if a guy. If a guy didn't have another life jacket, he would have to wear that all day inflated, wouldn't he?
And I'm sure people know this, but just in case anyone doesn't know this, that thing doesn't count as a life jacket. So, like, if there's two of y'all if there's two of y'all in the boat,
you got to be wearing
a life jacket.
Yes.
Take that thing off.
Yes.
You will get a ticket. That thing only counts as a life jacket if you're wearing it.
If you're wearing it, that's correct.
If you have another one in there, you can take it off. But a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah,
I wonder why that law got put in place. Like when those things came out, were they like, yeah, it'll float, but like we're not going to really count it. They got to be wearing it. Why did that? Why is that way?
I mean, you can't like throw it to them. Like a life vest, you can throw it.
That thing's pretty heavy.
Yeah, but if you miss it,
you can throw it, but that son of a gun will blow up.
There you go.
I mean, listen. I've been at boat ramps, and I know y'all have too. I've been at boat ramps, and people have had those stored behind their seat, and you hear them poof because of the moisture. They'll explode.
I'll tell you this: y'all will all agree with this. That son of a gun's hell to put on just in the boat when you're like with a kill switch on it. I can't imagine trying to put that thing on in the water.
I couldn't imagine. Having that thing on exploding.
No.
I couldn't imagine.
It's like French braiding your daughter's hair. You ever done that?
Never French braid, but I braid my daughter's hair all the time.
I braid never French braid.
What's a French braid? I can do like a
that's why you've never done it before. It's hard as hell.
I just get a vacuum. When she was young, I'd get that vacuum.
You ain't French braiding nothing.
No, listen.
No.
I'd get that vacuum and you suck up all their hair like that, and it makes a perfect. You put the rubber band around the circular vacuum, and you suck up all of her hair in that vacuum, right? And it makes a perfect freaking deal. And then you just slide that rubber band right up over that, makes a perfect ponytail.
Now that's some good
learned-
thinking right there.
Yeah,
That is. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Hey, Yimmy, come here. I got the shop back out here somewhere.
Yeah, just get a shot back. Just suck it all,
Absolutely.
put that rubber band on top of it and suck it all up.
Yeah.
And just slide that rubber band right up on there. Freaking
All right,
easy.
Zach, tell us your best wrecker story, because I mean, there's got to be a bunch running wrecker stories.
Wreckers?
Yeah, tell us like the best late night wreckers story that you got. I know you got a good one.
Yeah, I've got.
Legally.
Gosh, I've been doing this stuff 22 years. Oh my goodness, I have to get back in. I've got some good ones. Okay, I'll tell you the funniest one. I'll tell you the funniest one that ever happened to me. So we get a call of this 18-wheeler hung up on the railroad tracks, and so we get everybody together. I always get my guys lined up and tell them, hey, this is what we got. So we kind of size everything up, what we need. So we knew we needed 2 trucks out there. Well, I got this new big wrecker, and then I've got this older one. And it's got an old kind of military style bed on it. Well, when it gets cold, the valves on it really don't want to work all that great. So on the sides, but in the middle of it, it's got hand valves inside there. You can work them. So we're trying to work the sides of it, and it wouldn't work. And I'm like, well, I'll crawl up in there and use my foot to manually do them. And so I crawl up on the bed and I get my foot down there. And about the time as I put my foot down there, I look, and this rat that was the size of a squirrel was looking at me, and I was looking at it, and it comes straight up my leg. And it got about my kneecap, and I grabbed it, and I went over the side of the wrecker and landed on the back of my neck. I swore I killed myself. And when I come out of there, about that time, the rat had made it to my stomach. It was still coming up, and I wasn't going any further than that. And I squeezed it that far, and I mean, it literally just like tore my leg all the way up to my belly. And from this day on, hell with a rat. I don't have nothing to do with them. I'll shoot them. I'll do anything, but no, that's the wildest thing.
Did
I've been hit by a car. I got hit by a car one night. Nissan Altima hit my arm. Got hit by a car.
How'd you get hit by a car?
Yeah, huh?
How'd you get hit by a car?
Some gun was drunk.
He was in the
Some gun was drunk and hit me in my arm. Yeah, I've been hit by a car. That's why I'm a retard too. That's what everybody always told me. So you're retarded getting out there on the side of the interstate. So I'm not a retard. I'm a retard.
Nah, you can't cancel us.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
No, you can't cancel us.
Just let him keep going. Let him keep talking.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta be
So let's see. The craziest one was me and my dad. It was about 25 years ago. Me and my dad, we bought a big wrecker. We decided it was going to be cool. To get a big wrecker, and this big ice storm come, and this 18-wheeler rolled over in the ditch, and it's full of this big black mats. It's the mats that they put down on the interstate before they asphalt it, and they're like 12, 15 foot long. And it was inside of an 18-wheeler, and it took me and my dad like 26 hours to figure out how to get that stuff out of there. And then my daughter's on here right now. Tell the one, I had a cable break, went through my leg. I had a chain hanging out of my leg, and I drove myself to the ER to get it pulled out.
He tells the rat story.
Dude, this right here, that one's right there.
Yeah.
I've got crazy. Yeah, she's on there telling me that one. Let's see.
Yeah.
You ever been shot at?
I've been shot at. I've had a gun pulled on me. I've been shot at. Yeah.
He told the rat
Yeah,
story.
the rat story, really.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're a repo guy, you're gonna get shot at. Yeah. So this one here was this. I'll tell you this old man. This old man pulled a gun on me. It was an old man.
I
It's no way.
get shot at.
Huh?
I was like, no, well, yeah, that's not even a story. That's just a that's to let you know that you've been initiated.
Oh yeah. No, I've been shot at. Yeah. I had no man shoot at me one time. I was repoing his Mustang. I pull up this house and he comes out with a 2x4. And he come out with a 2x4 wrecker. And I get out and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna whip your butt, you know. I get out. He throws the 2x4 down and pulls a pistol out. And I left my wrecker there and I run straight across Highway 64 like a deer, hurdling fences with the cell phone in my hand. He's shooting at me. And they're like, who? I don't know. Just get over here. Well, where you at? Hell, I don't know. I'm in a field. I'm running. I mean, I was getting it across the field. I finally got calmed down. I finally got over there to me. Yeah. Thanks for that one, Eddie King. I know he's watching. Yeah. Yeah, there he is right there. Got shot at. I sure did. Yeah. That was that old man Taylor did that one.
See, y'all thought East Texas was bad. Arkansas's got it too.
No, Arkansas has them.
No, Arkansas, yeah. Well, yeah. Around here is pretty crazy. Yeah.
I think Arkansas and South Louisiana got everybody beat.
Yeah.
South Louisiana's pretty bad. Yeah.
I promise you, Oklahoma's got their share.
Oklahoma and Texas aren't that. Like, I'm scared to death. Listen, when we were talking, there's like 2 or 3 towns I don't drive through that without a full tank of gas. One of them's freaking Jackson, Mississippi. The other one's West Memphis. Those are 2 towns. Like I got full tank of gas before I hit those places.
Absolutely.
Hey,
West Memphis, and Pine Bluff's bad too, man.
Really?
West Memphis. I'm telling y'all, when I got a phone with Zack, he was like, "You can't stay there; they'll kill you."
I'm like, dude, you can't stay there, man. You don't
go.
stay there. You got to get out there.
Tell this one. I've actually heard this one. Can you see that, Zack?
Oh yeah, I'll see that one.
Do you want to tell that
It wasn't in the back; it was in the front.
I've heard
it was in the front. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty wild too. So I had this problem, and I've got this problem right now. So I had this guy's breaking in my impound yard, like it was like clockwork. And I knew who it was, and I seen him one time, and I was like, I pulled in there, and I'm like, dude, I know you're breaking in my impound yard. And was his Clarksville, Russellville, Fort Smith area? Yeah, he got shot, of course. But anyway, so I seen him and I pulled in there. I'm like, dude, I know you're breaking in my impound yard. And I said, if I catch you in there, I'm gonna kill you. I mean, he's like, oh man, I ain't. I said, I'm telling you, Mace, I'm telling you, stay out of there. I'm gonna get you. So, anyways, about 2 weeks later, whatever, I was at my office, and Angie was there, but my wife, she was with me, and she said, we was going to go eat some lunch or something. And then the bank called me, and I had to go sign some papers. And I said, you want to go with me to sign these papers? She said, yeah, I'll go with you. So we're driving by the impound yard and whip in right before it. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to show you where these jack wagons cut my fence and stealing all this stuff. So we pull up there beside it. We get out. We walk inside the fence that they cut, and we walk inside there, and we walk back out of it, and Angie finds this big old lock. Yeah, there it is. Took somebody out with a lock at the impound yard. But anyways, so she picks this lock up, and she's like, what is this? And I said, man, that's a big, what it is, it's a big old lock. It weighs about 3 pounds, and it's for a fifth wheel, or it's not for a fifth wheel, it's for a 18-wheeler trailer. And you put that lock on there and you lock it up, and you can't get into it. You can't even shoot them with a gun. So she finds that, and I said, man, my dad's a locksmith. I'll get him to make me a key for it. Cool, you know. So I had it in my hand. And we walk off the hill, and we walk right beside the truck, and Angie got some knives and some other stuff. I don't know, just stuff this guy strode out on the ground. And I just happened to turn and look back towards my impound yard, and there that son of a gun was, broad daylight, walking through my impound yard. And I holler, you son of a, if I catch you, I'm going to kill you. And I take off running, beeline up the hill. Well, instead of him going to the woods, he didn't go to the woods. He went towards the highway. And I had him in. I'm like, And I mean, I might be fat, guys, but I'm pretty damn fast. I mean, I'm pretty fast. And I take off running, and I cut through these. I had these 18-wheelers in there wrecked, and I cut through them. And I mean, I'm gaining ground on him. I mean, I'm running. And the next thing, this is the only thing that I really remember is telling him, "You better make that fence." And he did make the fence. He did make it.
So
It was-
story is so much better than the rat story.
Yeah.
Well, I had to start out with something kind of
That's true.
soft, and then kind of work my way into stuff like this. Yeah, because this guy had got med flighted out in a helicopter on highway. So yeah, it was.
Yeah. Zach was worried. He told me, he was like, I think I
was
killed
about
him.
to ask, like,
Yeah, I did. I did. I thought I did. I thought I killed him. Yeah. And the city cop was like, "Man, you might get in trouble over this." And I'm like, "I don't care. I hope I killed him."
Yeah.
I did. Son of a gun cost me so much money. It's pitiful.
hey,
Stealing from me. Oh yeah, here's one right here. They just pulled a Cadillac out of the river that's been in there nearly 20 years with a guy still in it. That was a good one too.
they just keep on coming.
Dude, homie.
Yeah. See, I've got a bad memory. Remember I said I'm a retard? So here, yeah, it's cut. Yeah, we're getting there.
We're having.
Yeah. So this guy had been in his cat. Matter of fact, Hallman, Josh Hilton found this car.
Really?
You know Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that found this car.
How did he
Found the car. He found it with his pan optics.
Really?
Yep, he found it on the end of the ramp.
He live
scoped it. Yep.
All right, so tell the story.
Well, so anyways, another competitor had got the call to pull it out. Well, they couldn't pull it out because, I mean, it's a Cadillac, like a sedan DeVille, had been in the river for 18 years, had been sitting there for 18 years on the end of that ramp. And he couldn't get it out of there. It was too heavy. So they called me down there, and we actually got it out of the water and got it loaded up on the wrecker. When we got it loaded up on the wrecker from to where the windows are, where the door panel, the window panel part is, was plumb full of mud. I mean, this thing had been in there so long. I bet that thing weighed probably 15,000 pounds. So we got it out, took it to the city garage, and they ended up like cleaning it completely out and found the guy's part. He'd been missing for 18 years.
Was he sitting in the driver's seat?
He was in the driver's seat.
No.
Yeah,
shit.
he'd been missing. I mean, his bones was as black as just black as just anything black. It was black. It was crazy. It was wild.
Which boat ramp was that at?
The east ramp at Spadder, or the west ramp at Spadder, the west one.
Really?
And we actually look back to the day that this guy went missing. He's from Arizona. And we actually look back to like the day around about that time, and it was raining like really, really hard. And if he wasn't from that area, of course, that's before GPSs too. And I think he was just going so damn fast. He thought that was a highway and went off of it.
Went off of it.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think it was just an accident. And then, of course, nobody, there's nobody on that end of the ramp unless it's duck season,
Wow.
It's crazy. Yep.
18 years that car sit there with his body at the end of the Spadder ramp.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can't hide from live scope.
No, you can't. Josh had actually found another one down there at Piney. He found a Jeep, and then Brandon Lee found a pickup truck over there at Cane Creek.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just find them all over the place here with that live scope.
So what did they
Pretty
do? What they do with the one in Cane Creek? Did they pull it out too?
Yeah, they pulled it out, and it ended up coming back stolen. Had to get Brandon on here sometime or another. He'd tell you, yeah, I can't remember. It was stolen out of Paris or Fort Smith or somewhere like that. Yeah,
Dead scope.
that live scope man's finding them.
Dead scope, not live scope.
Dead scope. There you go. That's a good one there. Yeah. Yeah.
God, that's crazy. Did we lose AJ?
Nah, he's coming back. He went up to go.
Man, I don't remember him being that freaking bulked up. He wasn't like that years ago, was he?
I don't know if he's like.
I mean, he was always a big guy, like big and tall, wasn't he? I mean, how tall is AJ? He's 6 foot.
He's probably 6'1",
Yeah.
6'2", maybe. He's
I'd hate
like,
to have to repo a car from him.
he's not. He's not. I bet you he's. Hey, AJ, how much you weigh? Are you? See, I'm like 20 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah, what you like?
He's 185. I'm 205.
I should be 195.
You should be.
Yeah,
What do you mean? You should be 195?
Damn, you only
How
won
tall are you,
185.
Todd?
Oh, you got
Damn
lean?
lightweight. Well, that's what I noticed. That's what I was going to say was in y'all's picture because I know how tall Todd is and I know how tall Zack is, but like both y'all are like 6'4" or 5. Both of y'all are big bastards.
Yeah, he scooted up. He scooted up about one step ahead of me to get bigger in that picture.
I
saw.
did. I stood on the dang rock there, Bradley. That's why I'm
freaking
stalling
beat me
you.
and then try to get
Nah.
bigger than me.
I mean, I had the first place trophy, so I had to be taller. I mean,
Yeah.
100%. No doubt.
How tall are you?
Y'all are big boys.
6'2".
6'2"?
6'2".
You only weigh 195 right now. Damn, that's incredible.
Who weighs 195?
AJ said he weighed 195.
185.
I'm 185. I'm way too lean. Way too lean.
Wow.
I lost too much weight. I'll put it back on though, Hallman. I'll get back to my fighting weight by the fall.
Yeah, you don't want to be messing around with me and Zack at 185, son.
Oh hell no. No.
No,
I can run faster than you probably.
Yeah, you might be able to. Well, I don't know, Zack. It depends on if you're
I'm
robbing
pretty
his
fast.
storage or not. He's got a
I'm
lock
pretty
in his hand.
fast.
Are you still pretty fast?
Probably not faster than you, but maybe I don't know about those two. Maybe,
Oh, hey,
I'm
not
not going to test it out unless I
I
have to.
I tested it out the other day.
Unless I got to run.
You did?
I tested it out the other day.
Yeah,
So
Todd's
we were
been racing the teenagers.
we were at the soccer scrimmage and we got done and we had some like guest players. And these two guest players, like these two girls are like they're freaking cool. One of them's like this like she's like a tomboy. She's awesome. And her dad was there. Like you can talk trash to him like crazy. Like my daughter, you can kind of talk trash to. She kind of gets it. But like these two girls, like straight up trash. You can just like you can talk to. So they got to mouthing off about something, and I was like, "Hey, listen, you don't want me getting out there. I didn't even play soccer. I'll still smoke you." And Michaela luckily was like, "Hey, like he can beat y'all, and he doesn't even play." And she said something, and next thing you know, I was like, "Man, listen, I don't even have to be that good. I'm just faster than y'all." And she was like, "There ain't no way you're faster than me." You know, and I'm like, dude, I'll smoke you girls. Are you kidding me? Y'all are freaking 11, 12-year-old girls. Like, whatever. And I was like, so next thing I know, I got then the dads start talking trash. And I'm like, so I start throwing down $100 bill. Like, who wants it? So I get down there like right after the game and I race her. But now as I'm walking, there's that small little there's that little thing going on. I hadn't had to test it in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's called doubt.
It wasn't much of a doubt, but it was like
it was
I talked to a
doubt.
lot of trash.
You were starting to get worried about getting your ass kicked.
No, I wasn't worried about it. I was
A little bit.
I was like,
little bit.
well,
That's
yeah,
called doubt.
I race Michaela all the time, and Michaela's like the fastest one on the team. I smoke her, but I was like, yeah, we'll see. So we get down there, and I'm like, okay, you know, when we take off, I'm gonna give her that little head, right? I'm gonna let her get going. You know,
Spot her-
yeah, I gotta spot her like, you know,
spot her a few yards.
yeah, I can't be like taking off with it at the same time. So like she takes off, I take off, and I make sure I'm behind her. And this is what I'll say: as I'm running behind her, I'm not catching her. Now I'm just running I'm just running. It's not a hard, but I'm like, I'm not catching her. And I hear they go, you better.
Yeah, you're right, Wayne.
Yeah.
100%.
No. So no. I'm not worried about that because I've never pulled a hammy. Like I've never had that problem.
Worried about so.
No, I'm never worried. No, I've never pulled a hammy. I ran track and like I've never pulled anything like that while running. So I wasn't worried about that.
Hey, Hallman, is this a fishing show or a
No.
track show? What am I?
So
on?
This
So-
is just a bunch of guys that are fishermen that are
Yeah.
friends that
So,
sit
Zack,
and have
let-
conversations like
let me
we're at home.
explain. Let me explain what this whole thing is about.
This is
That's
the
not-
truth in the house, is what this is.
Yeah.
With some of the best anglers in our region, this is what
Yeah.
in the house sounds like with us.
This one really goes on. Like there ain't no fishing goes on at night when we talk.
No,
as
no.
I'm-
It's
as
this
I'm
stuff.
watching, I hear these dads going, "You better pick it up," and I'm like, "You did? I do got to pick it up." What I'll say about picking it up when you're younger, picking it up was picking it up. Like you, you just here it was like, "Hey, get going, hey." Like, dude, it took like 3 seconds for my mind to tell my body to like get it going, and I got it going. Now, in pure, like, in my wife's like, "Did you really have to do what you did at the end?" So I got in front of her, and then I turned around and ran the rest of the race, waving at her in her face behind her, like as I beat her, just because she's like, "You could have done without that," and I'm like, "Well, no, I mean, I'm gonna like, but that's my point. I was like, oh, it doesn't come as easy as like turning it on. Like I had to like think about it real hard. To, like,
Castledine's the Draymond Green of soccer dads.
I bet you she don't race me no more. Not for a while.
Did like Deion Sanders wave at her?
No,
Yeah.
I got in front of her about like this, and I ran the rest of the race like that.
That's like
Right in her face.
yeah.
Oh, she was.
But tell them about the next day, because I've already heard this story. So the next day you were like,
I felt it, and that kind of pissed me off because I work out and run all the time, and I was like, I could tell I did something yesterday, but I mean,
oh jeez,
yeah, I don't get in full on sprints that much anymore.
no,
Which is crazy. I still go play. I play ball. Like my whole deal is I'm going to play ball with my kids. Like they're going to have to drag me off the court because I'm not. They're not going to beat me. That's my whole deal. Once they beat me, I'm retired. Until that day comes, I'm not retired yet.
understood.
I don't know when that day's coming. I think it's going to come quicker than. Well, I don't know.
How old are you again?
I'm 40. I'm about to be 44, but they're 11 and 8.
Oh yeah, you got like
5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Michaela, I don't know which one's going to get me though. Whew, Michaela's pretty fast.
Yeah, you got 4 or 5 years.
I got him in height though.
all right, let's talk a little fishing, since we are a fishing show. Now, I'm not going to get into details on this because I've been wanting to ask AJ this for a couple of months. In practice last year at the Open, there was a dude that was power poled down in the back of a pocket, and
Red River.
And he was covered up, and he was just like working on his tackle and shit. And I came in this pocket, and it's a pretty good sized pocket, and I had another guy on the other side, and he fished down one side and I fished down the other. And I had a couple of bites about 3/4 back the way in. I kept rolling. And this is in practice, so you're not like trying to hide anything. And the closer I get to the back, this dude was fishing in the beginning, and then he power poles down and he starts working on his tackle, and he's just like set up tent in the middle of it. And so in my mind, I'm already like, all right, either he's lost, he don't know what he's doing. And then he stays put for a while, and I'm like, nope, that's somebody that knows what they're doing. And he probably wants to check a couple more things in there, but yet there's boats around. So he's just going to set up a tent and just work on his tackle for a little bit. So by the time I get to the back, the other dude that was going down the other side with me, he takes the bait and he rolls. And I'm like, I just said it out loud. I'm like, I don't give a damn if somebody's power pole down here or not. I've done fished my way all the way to the back. I said this out loud. I'm going to fish. And so I'm winding the bait, ain't got no hook. And I get a couple bites and I keep rolling. And
I saw you get those bites.
I'm wondering, well, my question was, I didn't know it was you. Was that you?
Yeah, I saw you get those bites.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure it was you. And first day of the Derby,
I think you called me, Hallman, like asking what boat he had and stuff.
No.
I swear, but I heard this story.
Well, what you heard was day one, I didn't go in there first thing. I get my big Oklahoma ideas, and I'm going to stop here in this hole where nobody's at, and this hole where nobody's at, and nobody was there. And when I say nobody, I don't mean there's no fishermen. I mean no fish too. And so I roll in there about 10 o'clock, and Andrew's there, And I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? He's like, well, I got 3. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, hey, I want to go on back there to the back to the right. And he's like, yeah, come on around me. So I go on around him and I get on back in there. I start fishing and I catch them. I catch them pretty good. Not like you caught them, but I caught them pretty good. I mean, I'm close to the top. I'm in the top 20. Well, anyway, I get to the hotel room that night and doing my stuff. And Andrew's like, hey, man, good day. Da, da, da. He's like, are you coming back? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm not going to go in there if you're going to be in there. He said, I said, dude, you were there all morning. Go back. I said, you weren't sitting where I want to be anyway. And I said, I wanted on back because whenever I went and Andrew left, I said, I want further back. And he said, well, he said, Aaron Johnson started there this morning and he freaking wrecked them. And I was like, are you kidding me? And he's like, nope. And I was like, well, I kind of like that to the left anyway. I'll go on to the left. He's like, man, don't have any problems there in the morning. I said, I ain't going to have no damn problems. And I got to thinking, I bet that was AJ that was in there in practice. So I just went ahead and rolled myself back because I was like boat 1 or 2 or, in the top 15 boats, the first morning, I was like boat 220.
Yeah.
And so I roll back there and I go back to fishing, and I start. Of course, it doesn't even look the same after a day of fishing. It's already been trashed and pads are all turned up and it had gotten obliviated. But me thinking, I can go to flipping. But you came in there and you're working your freaking frog around. And I was like, this will work. But the funny thing was I noticed like that is something, and guys watching fishing, want a fishing story. We never said 2 words to each other. I never said hi. You never said hi. I never said bye. We never cussed. I never got over on top of you. You never came over there to me. That's 2 guys that have been fishing a long time that was like, okay, got it. You know what I mean? And we did our deal. And I didn't catch them out there. I think I caught 1 bass out there that day. And I don't know if you caught any or not, but
yeah, I think what you're getting at is you kind of got to understand kind of the professionalism of it,
Yeah, and understand where you are in the situation too, right? Because we're not on a place that there's a million fish everywhere,
Yeah, that's right. So, that practice day, I might not have even been in there, but I went in there just to double check some things. And can you try to play defense in practice? Yeah, I guess you can try, but
you kind of got caught because you were back there, and then 2 boats come in, and if it had been 30 minutes earlier or whatever, you'd probably been out there fine.
Yeah, so it's different. But kind of the weird thing is that second day, I don't know if you know this or not, but so I left because it was dead. Like we lost water temperature that night,
right? And
the pads were trashed. I left, ran a bunch of other things. I had a later check in, maybe a 4 o'clock. I don't know what it was, but it was late. And so I came back, and after all the boats had left, they started biting again.
Really?
Believe it or not, on day 2. It was like 3 o'clock, 3:30. I'm not sure what time it was. Like, wow, if they're biting here, like I have a place, there's the big ones. And if they're biting there, like I'll get them good and I'll be in good shape. And it all comes down to decisions, right? We all know that. And I left fish biting to go to fish that I thought might be biting, and they weren't biting.
Yeah.
And so I waited in 3 small ones that day, went from 4th or 3rd or whatever I was in to 20th, and 1 or 2 just keepers puts me in the top 10. And I fish on day 3, I should have just stayed and hunkered down, but it's kind of the way it goes.
I was leading that event.
You were not. He was leading the event out of takeoff.
Todd was leading the least burning gas participant of
the
event.
True, but I also led the event for the first 5 minutes of the event. I was leading.
Yeah,
no doubt.
He led the least burning gas in the last event at Dardanelle too.
Like so, when I
he did that for sure.
Yeah, when I took off out of there, there's that log over there that sits right up there by takeoff, and I looked at that thing and I was like, by golly, I don't do stuff like this, but if no one stops on that log, I'm stopping on it. And I pulled right up in there, second flip, 2.5 pounder. And I was like, and I'll never forget, like 4 guys broke their necks island by me as I'm freaking got this fish in. and they're all looking, trying to like island off to take off. And I'm like, dude, a 2.5 pounder is like a freaking like an 8 pounder, right? And I'm like, yeah, guys, what's up with that? And dude, I'm sure I just demoralized everyone in that tournament. And then it pretty much went. I think that was my big bass of the entire freaking 2 days. But yeah, I led that event for at least the first 5 minutes of the event.
2.5 pounds?
What?
To my Dardanelle?
No, Red River.
Yeah,
Hey,
just right outside the marina, right there on the left.
Yeah,
as soon
like
as you
that
pass the first
log
marina,
right
that
there.
big tree that's right there, Todd was
Hey,
jacking.
so
off
I gotta
of
tell
it.
a story. This story's never been public.
It's gonna
But-
take forever.
No, I don't care. It's not even my story to tell.
Three
It's so good.
part series.
All your stories are long.
It's so good. This is the best one. You got
Pronouns and circles. Here we go.
so on Falcon Lake. So it goes back to like leading the event on Falcon Lake. Russell is tells the story. It's the best story in the world. But he's going out and he pulls up into this creek, right? And this is back when Falcon in its heyday was like Falcon, right? Like the best lake in the country, hands down. So he pulls in there, and there's this point where he kind of wanted to start on, but the whole like it's not like it's a creek at Falcon. Like the whole dang creek is phenomenal, right? And so he pulls in. There's a guy starting on the point. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'll just go around him. So he starts fishing just in the middle of the creek and goes around him. I even say who it is because I don't care. His name is Justin Morton. Well, anyways, Justin was up there fishing and catching him, like catching him. And Russell's like, yeah, whatever. And he freaking, gets one here, gets one there, kind of works around him, whatever. Well, about when he kind of gets around him, he was like, hey, he's like, what are you doing? And Russell's like, what do you mean? I'm just fishing. And he's like, you're crowding me. You're getting too close. And Russell's like, I'm just going past you, man. And he was like, and he was like all flustered. And it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, right? and he's catching him, and he's got like 21 pounds or whatever. Now everyone's gonna think, oh, he has 21 pounds, mind you, right? 21 pounds in Falcon at the time.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 8 o'clock or not. And he was like, hey man, you got to get away from me. You're way too close. And Russell's like, dude, I've got to get past you to get down the creek. And he's like, you don't understand, man. I'm probably leading this event right now. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on day one. Anyways, Russell weighs in like 27 pounds, right? At the event. And he's like, Russell's in like 13th place or top 10. That guy weighed in like 23. He's in like 48th place. But it was just funny how it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. He was like, hey, I'm probably leading this thing right
I'm
now.
probably leading this thing.
Well, yeah, but that's not gonna. I mean, I remember. I think I had 23 pounds that day as well, and I was in like, I wasn't even in cut in like in the check range was 23 pounds. I'll never forget that. I should have yelled at everyone, "Hey, y'all got to back up! I'm leading this thing." That takeoff, that would have been awesome.
Take off.
I didn't burn anything that time. That tournament was. I got away with about 2 gallons.
So how has practice been down there for the Open with 225 boats at Toledo? Does it feel like Toledo, 300,000 acres, or is there boats everywhere?
No, there's no boats anywhere.
No, spread out big time.
Really?
Yeah, it's half the time they're freaking just locals keeping fish when you see people.
It's
Just
all
put
those
them in
people
the
from
boat.
Aaron State. They all cleaning them.
Yeah, and Louisiana has apparently spring break right now, sometime in the middle of April. So half the time, like, I got into it with these freaking kids and people. Like they didn't know what was going on. I didn't get into it with them, but like, who gets on spring break in April?
Spring break.
My kids were on spring break in March.
My buddy was. There's a bunch of kids out everywhere
They're probably not going
in
to
school. Yeah, that's true.
They're homeschooled or something.
That's true.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
They might just be
Y'all's parishes. I've seen some of those videos.
They might be no school.
Yeah, no school. Yeah, it's not homeschooled, no school.
I know the first time that I saw a bunch of bass skulls floating in my life, like I'd never seen anything like it, was at Toledo. There was like 200 filleted bass laying out all over the banks, and I had never seen anything like it. This was in the 2000s. I'd never seen such. And those Cajuns, man, they catch bass and they're going in the cooler.
It don't matter what they catch; it's going in the cooler.
If it's a fish and it swims, they're
Yeah.
filleting it.
Yeah,
You'd think
Yeah.
these guys would catch some more crappie than they do. They don't. They still they want to catch some bass.
they
and
won't catch. They won't catch bass.
skin them.
They want to catch bass. Damnest thing I ever seen was on Toledo Bend was a bass open. And I was down there and I'd got in the back of a pocket and it was starting to warm up and the fish was moving up shallow. And I looked and this big old gator was laying on the bottom and he was in about 4 or 5 foot of water and he just laid out there, kind of sunning under the water, wasn't moving. And I look up the bank a little bit coming down. It was this big old loggerhead turtle. I mean, a big one. And that thing was crawling across the bottom and then it was headed right towards that gator. And I'm like, man, I stopped. And I'm like, of course, there's 4 power poles. I stopped and I'm like, that gator's going to eat that freaking loggerhead turtle, And I'm watching it and that turtle's getting closer. And that crazy son of a gun crawls right over the top of that gator's head and just goes on down the bank. I could not believe that thing. I could not believe that gator didn't eat it.
You can't kill one of them things.
Huh?
No, I think you're gonna lug it.
Dude, those things are like,
They're prehistoric.
yeah, they're 400 years old.
I know, but
Yeah, they get
I figured,
old.
I
I know
figured that freaking gator tried to eat it.
No, I got a video of when
It's
I caught
crazy,
one.
man.
Listen, I got a video on YouTube of when I caught one the other like last year here.
Yeah.
And I didn't show the whole video because it took me 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I swore I was going to get that thing in the boat, and it broke my net. I couldn't lift it up. I finally did on like the 14th try. Dude, I was gassed, man. I was sweating. Brent was on the phone with me laughing. I finally got this thing because I wanted to get it up on the boat to take a. Dude, that thing was 200 pounds, man.
No, those things are huge, man. And
it's video. It's freaking giant, man.
Yeah,
the head on it was like this big.
Them big ones are like over 100 years old.
I've seen 3 since I've been here.
I saw
crazy.
that was
Crazy, man. Yeah, those things are. Yeah, the big ones they say are like over 100 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah, this one was one of them. I've seen 3 of them.
I don't know how we don't hit them because they're slow.
Yeah,
I know it.
I always see them.
And those things are huge too.
They're shallower.
And they walk. They walk on the bank. Like they walk down to, like, not the bank. Like
it's crazy.
They walk on the bottom. That's what I'm saying.
The loggerhead I saw yesterday was
It's not a loggerhead either, by the way.
whatever it is.
I've called it a loggerhead.
Snapping turtle. It's an alligator snapping turtle.
It's alligators.
Not,
But see, everyone calls
it's
them
big around and its head's that big.
Yeah, but we all call them loggerheads. And I said that one time to David Mullins. Mullins like, that ain't a loggerhead. And I went and looked up what a loggerhead was. And it's like a little old small turtle, but they're really called snapping turtle. I don't know why we all call them loggerhead. I think it could.
I don't either. But yeah, Hallman's right there. An alligator snapping turtle is what they're actually called. But
That one, the one I came across yesterday, was in about 4 feet of water. Around.
How you spell loggerhead? I'm looking it up.
All right, look it up, Bradley.
How you spell it?
Logger. Yes.
Yeah.
Logger.
It was probably 400 yards off the bank, but it was shallow.
Yeah.
Loggerhead's a sea turtle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah,
what's the big one? The alligator?
Alligator
Yeah,
snapping
an
turtle.
alligator snapping
That's a
turtle.
snapping
Yeah.
Alligator snapping turtle.
Loggerhead is that little sea turtle that the whole world's trying to save.
Yeah, it ain't even that big.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the one floating around on the like Corpus Christi around the rock reefs and stuff by the millions. Man, we've done well tonight. We've covered loggerheads. We've covered lock, 2-head. We've covered a little bit of fishing, not much fishing. We don't talk a lot of fishing. Zach, see, you were all concerned about not making it at 8 o'clock on the dot, and you were speeding like there was no need.
I know. I'm a retard.
We were going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
Y'all been here since 8 o'clock.
Yeah. This is what people like though, because there's guys on here going, there's not much, because some of the feedback, they're like, y'all aren't talking much fishing. Well, no, you know, we're not, but this is a conversation we'd have if all 5 of us were sitting in the house practicing for a derby. This is
Yeah.
what they would get. This is what we talk about. It's the truth.
100%.
Even with Niggermeyer calling, that's what it'd be. It'd be like, put him on speakerphone. Let's give him all a hard time. Is Niggermeyer fishing the opens this year?
Yeah, he's here.
Is he fishing all 9 or just the centrals?
All 9.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
All 9.
Man, that's crazy that you have to fish all 9 of them to qualify for the league.
I agree.
Man, you hit it at the right time, Holman, to qualify.
Oh, I know.
You fished all 9?
I fished all 9. I fished all 9 for the last 3 years. That's why.
But you didn't have to though.
No, but I did feel like I had to. I felt like I had to.
No, you had to.
Yeah, Todd knows.
Yeah.
Todd did it too with me. Todd knows.
All right, Brad, let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
Is it the right thing now to be able to qualify to fish the elites by fishing all 9, or was it a better scenario to just fish one division to qualify?
What's better scenario?
Well, I didn't ask you. I asked Bradley.
Well, that's 2 different questions.
No, I asked Bradley.
Who is it better for? Is the question we got to get to here? Are we talking about bass or for the angler?
The right angler.
Damn, that was the right angler.
What?
Well, we both know that, dude. You know this. To get to the best right angler overall is to fish all 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now we will all get this. Everybody in this group. There is something to be said for Greg Hackney is a good example. I'll bring him into this. And we will all kind of fit in this group. There is something to be said for an angler that is a powerhouse in his region, right? Like a King of a Dardanelle, a Castledineism of Texas, an AJ of Louisiana, even though you fish most of your tournaments in Texas, but I know that's because that's where the money ends up being. There's something to be said about that angler that knows how to win and like win big, that guy can be a superstar. Now, if you send him off to New York first 2 or 3 years, no, he's not going to catch them.
Good point.
And he's going to get beat.
So,
But for what they need as superstars, those guys are truly the superstars. They're the ones that can freak show. They're the ones that know how to bring in giant bags for whatever part of the region is. And they learn and adapt how to do that in Florida and how to do that in other places. Hackney's an example. He would go to Florida and they'd all be flipping that little BB cricket, and he'd still be flipping a 3/4 ounce jig and be like, dude, these things some bitches didn't get to be 10 pounds by eating that little BB cricket. They're freaking eating brim. And he would flip the brim, the big jig, and whip their ass. That's because of his mentality of understanding how to win tournaments. Whenever you get into this 9 fish deal, you're going to end up with a lot of, and I'll throw it out there. I don't care. You're going to end up with a lot of Randy Howes, a lot of, points guys that know how to chase points, but don't know how to win tournaments. Are they superstars? Yeah, I guess after 25 years of being on tour, maybe. But they're not freak show guys. They're not Russell Cecils. They're not Todd Castledineism, and they're not Zack Kings. They don't know how to freak show. They don't know how to do that. And so is it better? I don't know. Do they get the better points angler? They do. They get the guy that can qualify for the Classic every year. But, dude, that just makes the Classic that much easier for guys like Hackney, because there's 50 guys that make the Classic and 40 of them are points guys. They have no idea how to win a damn tournament. Then there's 10 guys there that know how to win them. So, I don't know. They're cutting the Denny Browers out.
The freak show stuff, stuff's big.
all right. So you just gave me a perspective that I had not thought about yet.
Okay.
And I respect it and I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's what I really feel, because there's a lot of guys that come from where we all come from, and man, we have to win tournaments to make money. So then we focus on how do we win this local tournament and what is it going to take to win it? And all of our areas that we all come from, and we all 5 come from different places, which is really cool. That's why I like this deal tonight. The weights are not really they don't really matter as much because Todd's caught more 30-pound bags than the rest of us 3 put together, but it's because of where he lives. 25 pounds is a freaking sack where Zack and I live. 25 pounds is a sack where you live. If you can bring in 25, 27, you freak showed it. You know, when second place is 21, 22, and you've got 27, you freak showed. And to do that takes a special type of angler. And it takes somebody willing to take risks that those guys that chase points aren't willing to chase. They don't even know how. They don't even begin to know how. That being said, does the 9 bring an overall better angler? Yeah, it probably does across the country. But I think that it was the wrong move for bass in the long run. I think that it will come back. I think they'll have to come back at some point. Yeah. I don't know when that is, but I think they'll have to draw that back.
You think they'll come back to 3?
Yeah.
So here's what's interesting about that statement is that there were how many that signed up for 09?
Yeah.
170
something.
180. Yeah.
180?
Yeah, 180 plus.
And then how many make it?
9.
9.
Yeah.
Those are fucking terrible odds.
They are.
They're terrible odds.
They've been the worst odds. So I've done this for the last 3 years. I've been in the open. So last year there was 87 that signed up for 09. I think the first year when I did it 3 years ago, Todd was with me. There was probably 50 or 55 of us, I think, something like that. But then they were only taking 3. So it wasn't 9 out of 55. It was only 3. And then they were taking,
it's like 7th or something.
And they were taking 3 out of each division as well. So what I kind of liked about that is, and y'all all get this too, is like if you had a bad tournament in Florida, like a really bad one, well, you were out on the Southern, but yet you still had 4 bingo cards to play. You know, you could still play the overall bingo card or 3 bingo cards. You could play the overall bingo card, the Northern bingo card, and the Central bingo card. And then as those would get deleted, you could mathematically look at them, and then you'd be down to 2 bingo cards and then 1 bingo card. But now they've kind of taken that out to where you've got 1 bingo card. And man, what's going to happen is that with the way that the schedules are, and even though they are going to some better lakes, and they are going to better ponds because you guys are spread out right now, Toledo. And I'm just, I'm comparing, and I'm not knocking Red River, but Red River compared to Toledo, and Red River in September compared to Toledo in April, it's night and day.
They can't get more night and day.
Can't get more. And you do that, and then you do a cutoff where they can't practice for 30 days. If they would have gotten rid of the information, would have helped too. And I don't know why they didn't do that. They said it was because of policing, but
it's impossible with these guys.
It's impossible every which way there is, even with the rule period at any level.
The open guys are worse. I don't know if they're worse, but they're freaking. It's a joke.
Okay, so but it did help, is what I'm saying. So those things are a positive. But what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up with 9 live scopers every year for the most part. You're going to end up with the majority, 90% of that field qualifying for the Elite Series are going to be what you're going to see at the end of the day. You're not going to see AJs and Zack Kings and Todd Castledine's for the most part. I'm not saying that you guys won't qualify. You may. There will be you'll be 10% of the 9 guys that qualify. What you're going to see is you're going to see young guys that know how to use electronics. That's what you're going to see. Because to them, it doesn't matter what body of water they're on. All they're doing is looking at a screen and they're chasing that thing. That's what you're going to see qualify for the Elite Series over the next 3 years under this format that they have right now. They are not freak show guys. Absolutely not.
And not one of them. If they had had it at Dardanelle last week, every single live scoper there would have freaking cut their chances at an elite berth.
Correct.
All right.
No, yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Because
they'd lost it there.
Oh, I watched them. Sit out there while I was catching them, and I was like, and one of my co-anglers during that freaking freak show hailstorm, like,
Yeah.
I was by this guy, and this tree fell in the water by us. Like this tree fell in between us and them, and I was like, good thing we weren't there, you know. And when the rain let up, I I was just trying to make conversation. I don't know why, but I was like, boy, said something, because dude, it was nasty out there, right? And
Yeah.
guy never looked up. He was live scoping, and his co-angler talked to me. So I made conversation for about 15 seconds. Boater never freaking looked up, never said a word to me. Whatever. I was like, I don't care, And had his head down the whole time live scoping. Well, we got done, and my co-angler, that co-angler comes up to me at the he's like congratulated me and stuff. He said, hey, I was out there. I was the co-angler out there in that other guy's boat. He said, y'all talked to us for a while. I said, I didn't talk to y'all. I talked to you for a little bit. I didn't talk to the other guy. He said, yeah, no, man. He had his head down the whole day looking at that live scoping, looking at that live scope. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I saw that. He goes, he did that all day long for one fish. I said, you mean to tell me he sat there and caught one fish all day long live scope? And he goes, yep. I said, well, I saw him catch it. Like, it was like a 15-incher. He's like, yep. That's the only keeper he caught in 8 hours. And he live scoped all day. I'm like, I was up there catching 15 pounds. He goes, oh yeah, I know. I watched you. Not him. He just out there. And all them live scopers did horrible. Yeah. They're going to run it. And it's crazy. I laugh about that because regardless of whether you know how to live scope or not, we all know how to, but it's like, I always make this comparison about sight fishing. Is everyone's like, hey, did you sight fish this event? And I'm like, no. Or Dardanelle, they're like, did you sight fish? I'm like, I caught one. I think I weighted in one fish. Sight fish. He's like, there was fish on beds. Why didn't you do it more? I'm like, because you couldn't win.
Right.
And he was like, they're like, yeah, no, but I figured you would. I'm like, hey, listen, man, I think a really good sight fisherman isn't the guy who knows how to go out there and catch 12 pounds sight fishing that gets you 50th place. A great sight fisherman knows what sight fishing is and is like, hey, man, that's going to get you 50th place. I ain't sight fishing.
Right.
I think a good live scope, good live scopers are like, hey, I could go beat all the live scope. They could have a live scope event, right? There's another tournament going on, and then there's 10 other guys live scoping.
That's right.
All those live scopers. And I'm like, yeah, but you're in 130th place.
Yeah.
A good live scoper to me would be like, hey, I'm putting it down because I know it's not the right way to win. It's kind of like what Hallman said. There's going to be guys, though, that don't. I already know one guy that's called up and he was like, hey, what's 12, 13 pounds going to get you on Toledo? And we're like, 80th place.
It's decent, but not
He's like, man, I think I'm still going to go do that. And I'm like, why'd you sign up for this event? Not if that's. I might finish 150th in this event, but I think I'm fishing, and I might really finish that bad. But I'm practicing to go win this thing.
To go win.
I did the same thing at Dardanelle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing about it. If you're live scope, just like you said, if you come to Dardanelle to live scope, you're just done. Yeah. You was done. You was done before you even put your boat in the water. You was done before you even put your money.
100%.
And there's going to be those events too. And this is one thing that sets great fishermen apart from good fishermen is you have to be versatile. You have to, you got to change. You got to change with the fish. You got to change with the mood. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to go out here and make his fish bite. It don't work that way.
Right.
It's like getting on a damn bull and saying, I'm going to ride this thing for 8 seconds. It ain't going to happen that way.
Now you might go do that and finish bad in an event, and that doesn't mean that you didn't try to adjust. It's just maybe you didn't know how else to catch them. But there's a difference between it and I might be totally wrong. It'd be like going to Dardanelle and fishing deep. Well, I'm a deep fisherman. Well, you're on a river and they're spawning. You're fishing for 10% of the fish out there deep when all, I don't understand. Sometimes I kind of wonder hey, you know what you're fishing for, and yet you didn't try to change in practice. I get it.
That's right. That's right. You got to change. If you want to try to catch them, you got to change.
Yeah.
If not, you're not going to catch them.
If you went and fished Dardanelle and threw a little bitty whatever around, and for 4 days you hadn't caught a fish over 2.5 pounds, you're like, this is what I'm going to go do. And I'm like, well, don't you think, maybe not even 2, maybe like a 2-pounder. You're like, hey, this isn't the right thing to be doing. And at least go try to change. Like if
that's what I'm saying, try.
If
try to change.
You ain't figured out how to catch another fish, I get it. But
I get that
other
too.
guys going, hey, this is what I'm going to do regardless.
Yeah. Because there's been lots of times that I went to La Crosse, Wisconsin, or Kentucky Lake or something, and I'm not catching them. I'm gonna be like, well, I do this at home to catch fish. I'm gonna try that. I get that part of it, but
Yeah, but you probably went to Kentucky Lake like all of us and tried out there deep. And tried to catch them that way. And when it all was said and done, like 3 days went by, and like, hey man, I just can't get it going out here. That's different than going, hey, I'm gonna go up, and catch 14 inches for 4 days and go, this is what I'm doing in the tournament, without actually trying to do that out there.
Yeah.
Right here is the statement. This is it. Big, dumb, active fish are how tournaments get won, regardless of technique. And I agree with that. I've been looking for big, dumb ones all my damn life.
Well, I know Ben and Ben, I always tell people that. I'm like, there's some guys out there going out after the smartest fish in the world. I never go after those. I go after the biggest, dumbest ones that'll freaking bite. I like those fish.
Yeah.
I like the dumb ones.
Yeah, that's how I like my women.
Yeah.
That's why none of them are on here.
Bam. Bam.
And we're done.
Bam. Look, I'm the same way, man. I don't want to catch smart ones. I want the dumb ones.
Yeah.
I want to work my ass off to catch one. I just want the dumb one to bite it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's on a frog. I don't care if it's on a flip bait. I don't care what it's on. Spinner bait. I'll still throw spinner bait.
I caught one on spinner bait today.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you don't.
Dude, hey, listen, we ruined Todd. We brought him to Oklahoma. He caught some on a spinner bait. He's been throwing it ever
It's done
since.
now.
I was talking to Zack when I caught one on a spinner bait today.
You don't even own a spinner bait.
You didn't think I caught one on that other bait yesterday, and I had to show you video.
You won't even let Gilbert throw a spinner bait.
I
Why
got
would you
it.
throw a spinner bait?
I won't let him throw a rattle trap. I got a video. I got it on video.
No, you
You're
don't.
gonna get proven wrong again.
No, you don't.
I was on the phone with Zack when I caught it.
Why were you throwing a spinner bait?
Well, it was shad spawn.
It's not yet.
Well, but I didn't know that at the time.
We're close. We're not there yet.
Well, I know, but I tried to.
You want to know where the shadow are? How deep are the shadow now?
14 foot.
They're 20 to 14.
Well,
They're 20 to 10.
go in the morning time, you'll see them in freaking 5 to 14.
They're not there yet, though.
What they are there yet?
They're trying to be there.
They're in 10 to 14 in the morning time all day long.
Good.
It's right there. I'll show you. There's a million of them right there.
The best way to get Castledineism to tell you the truth is to tell you that he's lying.
You thought I was lying about yesterday. I'm not talking about that though.
Look, for all the viewers, I'm just telling you.
What's funny is
I don't believe you.
He asked for a bait yesterday, and so I gave him one. And then at the end of the day, I was like, "Hey man, did you catch anything on that?" He's like, "No, that thing sucks. I'm giving it back." And I'm like, "I caught a couple on it." He's like, "No, you didn't." So I showed him a video of me catching a 4.5 pounder on it.
I think it's funny that you're just figuring out the Castledineisms. I think that's hilarious because, like,
no, I figured it out last year on Gunnersville.
Yeah, but I wasn't lying to you then. I'd never caught a fish off a dock.
Dude, it's not that you're ever lying, Todd.
No,
it's just like your Castledineism. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing.
Nothing to do with lying at all. No, I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm not saying that. It's just that
you can talk in a circle.
You're not going to fish the way I
Oh, absolutely.
Like we fish completely differently. Like we may have some similarities.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, exactly. Just like if you were to say the same story, you would say talk in circles. No one would understand anything you said. So, like you fish different than I do. We have some similarities.
I think I fish different than everyone.
So let me give y'all some insight on this. What I think it is, honestly, after many years of knowing him well, he became a decent little fisherman around Rayburn, and he likes to talk. Right? You've been in the house with him. You've got to know him a little, Zach. He talks. And talking is a problem when you're a good fisherman around your home pond. And I think that he learned that I can't quit talking. So he learned to talk in circles. So he developed the Castledineism to where he can talk a lot, but he ain't telling you jack crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing.
Yes.
But
Nothing.
he talks
Nothing.
nonstop. So he's allowed, he can keep talking, which is his natural personality.
Yep.
And I got tickled, dude. This is no lie, man. Y'all will get a kick out of this. This has been years ago. I went down and fished a Toyota coast or whatever it was, and we were down at Amistad, and I drew out with this guy, and I never met him before in my life, you know, and we're talking, and he gets in the boat, and we take off fishing, and somewhere like early in the morning, he starts talking about that he fishes a bunch of team stuff around Rayburn and stuff. And he, you know, he's talking like, you know, they catch a few bass. No, it was Rayburn. And he's Texas guy. He owns a bunch of car washes and stuff. He and I still text to this day some. And he's a big A&M fan, and, you know, just East Texas deal like most of them. And they cash quite a few checks and stuff, you know, but they don't win derbies and stuff, but they cash checks. And anyway, I said, you know, Castledine? I said, he's one of my pretty good friends. Todd and I have been friends for a long time. Todd and I were both in this tournament down here at Amistad. And he was like, yeah, I know him. I know who he is. He said, I fish against him every weekend. He said, man, that guy never says a word. He's quiet. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, he never talks. I was like, are you kidding me? He never talks? He said, no. And I think Todd figured that out. Like if he got quiet and never talked, that around weigh-ins, he doesn't say a word. And so everybody thought he was quiet. I thought that was funny. Look who I drug in, Castledineism.
I don't. Yeah. I was talking about him the other day. What's funny is I mentioned him on my YouTube because they had a picture of me with a spinning rod at Dardanelle. And so I was like, I said something about Panger, dude, and it freaking went wild on YouTube. Like all the comments were laughing about the fact that I brought up Panger, and I was like, yeah, I had to get, you know, something about my spinning rod.
What you doing, Panger? Welcome to the show.
Oh, what's up? Do I have enough service here? I barely have any service. So.
I don't know. We were going to end the show in like 5 minutes, so it's just going to work out well.
Oh no, that's good. God, you're fishing this, right, Todd?
Yeah. Yes.
So
what does that mean?
I'm about to fish a Bassmaster Open on Toledo Bend in April with 4 spinning rods on the front deck and nothing. I'm not kidding.
Here we go, folks. For you folks that stayed on late to hear the chewing, you stayed for the right part.
Much more of those because you're fucked, basically.
Listen, I'm shooting for a double-digit finish this week.
You'll be triple digit with spinner rods.
I'll catch a fish with a spinning rod.
I know you will, but I know what you're doing.
Huh? It's been an interesting 3 days.
You do,
Been tough, has it? Been tough.
Well, it's not tough. Listen, when you go out there and practice with a spinning rod on day one, and that's your first cast you make, of course that's what you're going to throw.
I was throwing glide baits.
What, dude? Glide baits? Let me tell you something about glide baits. How many tournaments in the country has a glide bait ever won?
I wasn't using it to I was just using it to see them.
That makes no sense. You use your eyes to see.
We can't all be Todd Castledineism here. Sometimes we have to be Matt Panger.
I mean, so the only bait you throw is the bait that like they like to look at and don't eat.
No, I mean I wasn't trying to catch him. I caught myself.
I saw that. You ran it right through your finger. Did you just cut that one off and pull it back through? 1-2X,
and I had it on. I had just got done like throwing it, and I strapped the rod on the front deck, and then all the momentum of my body as I stood up to go back to the cockpit ripped it through completely right through the fattest part of my pinky. Like
I saw it all the way through.
Oh yeah, 100% horseshoed it.
So that's great. Did you just cut the barb off and pull it back
Yeah,
through?
so
Or
my
what did you do?
buddy Aaron's with me, and he's a plumber. So I'm like, you're a plumber, Brad, too. So you're like, perfect. I know he knows how to use tools. I know how to use that. We went through 3 pairs of needle
Side
nose
cutters.
trying
Yeah.
to find a pair that could cut it. That's how thick the gauge was. And he finally cut it, and I just backed it out like a man.
Well,
Like a man. Once he cut the barb off.
Yeah, once he got the barb off of it, yeah, get out of there like a man.
Yeah.
There's a hockey player for you, boys.
Listen, hey, so we're
I was a
eventually gonna,
scorer, not a fighter.
so Zach asked me to come down there and fish with him this morning. He was like, "Hey, I want come do this deal." Zach and I'll come because like how you're catching them's fun, right? But one of these days, I'm gonna invite Panger to actually go like real man fish, which is crazy. It's like normal fishing, like flipping or swim
You
jigging
can't flip.
or things with like 20-pound test line or frog, like things that you can catch them all over the country doing. You do realize that you don't have to do the other stuff.
Yeah.
You sure?
Are you? Yeah. Are you sure?
Is that wait? Is
Wait,
yeah?
you just described things that you catch
operation
fish all
or
over the
is it
country on. That would be a spinning rod.
Huh?
It's a means to an end here. I'm trying to finish 50th, 60th. I mean, dude, I'm not going to go out and figure out offshore on Toledo Bend and
No one's gonna. Who cares? What do you mean offshore? It's springtime.
yeah. I mean, I've gotten bit on a frog, and I've gotten bit on a little swim bait up shallow, and I've gotten
Little
bit
swim
on
bait.
25-pound test and flip it.
And yet, but you're not going to go try to actually do all that.
Oh hell,
Do good? No.
no, wacky worm.
You're gonna
Really?
wait.
Yeah,
Are you going to do it at least are you going to do it shallow? You're not going to do it like Nico with a weight in it, right? You're at least going to go like 4 foot or less, right?
No, don't even. It's
Okay.
not.
All right.
It's not. No,
It's not worth it.
don't even ask the question.
No.
Come on, Aaron. Ask it.
All right.
I want to hear it. Ask it.
All right. What's your name?
Matt,
Matt. Where are you from?
Oklahoma,
And how long have you been fishing the opens?
4 years,
What's your highest finish?
No, he knows this.
8th.
I don't know this.
Yeah, but eighth, but they were on Lake Hartwell or something.
All right. And you're gonna throw a spinning rod with a whacking worm on Toledo Bend
100%.
Yeah.
for the 3 days.
My average
2
finish
days. Next
No.
2 days.
is horrible.
He's gonna next 2 days. Not
Aaron, remember the conversation? Remember the conversation we had about who's qualifying for the Elite Series?
Yeah, that's yes. Yeah.
You
I
with
got
me?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I got you.
Matthew, that's Aaron Johnston from Louisiana, Red River guy.
It's a
Yeah,
sit-
we don't I don't know how to rig a whacking worm. How do you rig that?
I've got a number of different ways, don't I, Brad?
Oh
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
the best
I
is
don't know this.
we had one rigged up, me and Russell, when we were at what's that freaking Cherokee when Andrew won throwing one, and Dudley looks at our wacky rig, he's like, "You rigged that all wrong," and we're like, "Don't you just hook it through the middle?" He's like, yeah, but there's a certain way to do it, and I'm like, "Yeah, Dudley, listen, man. It's Dudley saying all this, but rig it through the middle. It'd be just fine."
Brad,
I mean, go out to Toledo on a freaking on a weekday and watch 400 guys catch fish, 4,000 guys catch fish on a wacky rig. I'm sure there's a right way and a wrong way to rig it as freaking.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you can catch them on a wacky rig, no doubt.
Oh yeah,
No doubt.
that's why all those guys,
no doubt. No doubt.
all those
100%.
weekenders are all out there
100%.
just catching little fish, and then some
Yeah.
random guy catches a 10-pounder
Exactly. So
because 4 million of them threw it out there.
yeah, when there's 1,000 wacky rigs in the
100%.
water,
Of course, it's going
you
to
got
catch
a
a
big
10-pounder.
opportunity
Yeah.
to catch 10 pounds. Yeah, so no doubt about that. I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah, and a spinning rod actually puts it in places it's very difficult to do with
Yeah.
a weightless
And
on a
look,
caster.
You'll probably kick my ass this week. I'm just saying. I'm not going to throw the wacky rig. I'll go down with a frog all day long. Like you kick my ass, I mean, I'm fine with it, but I'm going to go down with a frog.
Swinging.
I'm going down swinging.
Yeah, me too.
A frog, a swim jig, some other things I'm not going to say, but you kept me ass on wacky rig all day long.
I'm not. I will gladly finish 45th to your.
All right. Time out. Now, was your article bullshit, Zach? That you just won the Toyota event on Dardanelle, but did you not win it on a wacky rig?
I
Was it
won on
bullshit?
Cinco. I won on Cinco.
Same thing.
It wasn't wacky
No,
rig.
it's not the same thing.
Oh no.
It wasn't wacky rig, and it was on 20-pound test line.
Oh, okay.
And Zach,
Yeah.
you were
My
throwing me.
Cincos grow balls between your legs.
Zach,
That's the saying of the night right there.
Zach, you were throwing that Cinco in very specific places. Period.
Absolutely.
You were not fan casting it.
No, I was not fan casting it. No.
Between its legs.
Were you skipping it up in there, or were you casting it up in there?
I was casting it up in there, baby.
Yeah, right. You were
Yeah.
casting
Casting it up in there.
He's swinging in a spot this
You
big,
invited me to
9
this.
times out of 10.
But he wasn't going.
No, because I'll tell you the funny thing about it is we took off at border and we got up there that first spot. Now there's a lot of grass in there, a lot of grass, a lot of lily pads, stupid stuff. And my co-anger was from Northwest Arkansas. He's from Beaver Lake, and he actually won. He won a tournament. He won the grand. He won it on the co-anger side. And he pulls out a spinning rod, and I look at him. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "I'm fishing." And I said, "Put that down." And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Son, you can throw that on a regular rod, but I said, you're about to get your heart broke throwing that in here." "Oh, it'll be fine." Yeah, he hooks a 4-pounder and it breaks him off. So, yeah, he rigged it up on it, but because that stuff's just so thick. I mean, it got him buried up. And I mean, there's nothing you could do with it, you know?
I'm just saying, if you look at the statistics, if you look at the trends, Seminole was just one with a drop shot. You look at forward-facing sonar. You look at the pressure that the fisheries. You look at the influx of the Japanese anglers, and I think half of the tournaments this year are going to be won on a spinning rod on the Elite Series, and I think that trend is just going to keep going up.
I'm sorry, Pager. If we were in the Northern Division, I'd be agreeing with you, but damn, son, Toledo. Come on.
I mean, I've got 14-pound leader on.
All right, here we go.
I'm not fan casting a wacky rig. I mean, there's some method to the match here. It's not.
All right, hold on. You said it'll be one on a spinning rod, right?
No, not this tournament. I think half of the Elite Series tournaments this year will be. I don't know what this will be one offshore with 25-pound tester up shallow with braid.
All right, how many Elite Series tournaments are left?
7.
All right, 7. So you're going to say
4 of them are up north, though.
Yeah. Well, that's easy spinning rod.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at the schedule.
I can't do that. I mean, I was going to lay down a bet if you want to take it, but with the North tournaments, I can't take it.
There's a chance. Yeah, there's a good chance over half will be. Because one of the two already has, and it's supposedly a slugfest, and it was one drop shotting on Seminole.
Right.
Murray could be one. The very next one could be one on a spinning rod. Actually, it was just one on MLF, but when he throwing a spinning rod, Gagley already had a spinning rod in his hand, didn't he? Yeah.
Yep, sure did.
So that could be one on spinning rod. Santee Cooper, no way in hell. Toledo Bend, no way in hell. But yeah. But Panger, we've talked about this. It's about points. I'm not knocking you on this deal.
Yeah.
By the way, Zach, dude, 20-pound line with balls has got to be. That is good stuff. My Cinco's got balls, 20 legs.
Congratulations on your second place finish, Todd. That was cool to see.
Huh?
Congratulations. That was good stuff.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do have some stuff. Todd, I just filmed an episode of Let's Fish TV. You took 40 minutes to say 2 lines.
That sounds right.
That's about right.
40 minutes. I was struggling with it, and I was like, dude, I mean, I had Jared Christmas behind the camera, and I said, dude, I'm sorry, I can't get this right. He goes, hell, it's better than Castledineism. I said, wait, say that again? He said, dude, Castledineism, he got stuck on this line. And I said, really? I said, how long did it take him? He goes, probably 40 minutes. I said, all right, stop the stopwatch.
Well, it wasn't one line.
I'm going to beat you at something. I did it in 22 minutes.
Yeah, the fact that it takes, that's how bad the line, one, if anyone doesn't understand, it's two lines, talk how you want to say, and then two of the dumbest lines.
I would agree with that.
And it's so bad. And did you study beforehand?
No, I just got it right there at the freaking lake.
Why wouldn't? Yeah, no. Like it's the worst thing in the world. I hate that one deal.
It took me 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's still not good.
No.
I mean, I'm not knocking it. That's like, but it's horrible. Everything else I breeze through. I can do things on one take. It's just that one paragraph is a nightmare.
I would agree with you.
So I've got one for the whole group. In Panger's defense, Toledo could be one in the next 3 days after Wednesday. So skip tomorrow. It could be one in the next 3 days. It could be one with a guy with a spinning rod and a drop shot on stumps with fish spawning and a man on his live scope looking at them spawning in 6-7 foot of water, 5 foot of water, but stuff that you can't see with your eyes. So I haven't been there. Maybe you can see 6 foot deep. So whatever you can't see, what's just right out of your realm of being able to see. So let's say you can see 6 foot. So it'd be 7 to 10. A guy could catch him and win it with a drop shot on stumps.
No. Well, you get everything you said except spawning fish. They will not be spawning. He can win it. He can win. No doubt you can win this thing on a spinning rod, live scoping. I don't know if you have to be up with a spinning rod, but no doubt you can win. It's Toledo Bend. There's fish everywhere.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They will not be catching them spawning fish on a drop though, like not looking at them.
Well, I'm just thinking it's late in the spawn. They start spawning a little bit deeper. Some of those big females setting up just out of sight.
There's way too many fish already spawned that they can go just with there's too much going on right now.
Is your shad spawn?
No. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Yes.
Well.
No. Yes.
There is one.
No. Yes.
There's that Castledineism again.
So,
you're learning, Zach. You're learning.
You just said yes, no, yes.
So
yeah, I heard it. I heard it.
Majority of the lake, there's not one. So there's like 90% of the lake, there's not one. There is one going on though.
Right. Okay.
It's going on way up the lake.
You mean where I was?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
100% it is.
Cole Moore and Tater Reynolds say different. They say it'll be one on live scope.
Huh?
Cole Moore and Tater Reynolds say it'll be one on live scope.
Well, that's those two guys.
That's all they do.
That's all they do, and they live on this lake.
I'm just saying they say it'll be one on live scope.
Well, maybe it will be.
Well, yeah, because
it might be.
They live on this lake, and that's all they like. They haven't caught a single fish in 2 years doing anything other than that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that that's what the like. I don't want to talk crap, but like it's a whole different story when you got to go live scope on a different lake that you've never been to before, and you got to go find where these fish. It ain't the same, and I don't think those guys have won a tournament in the past month.
Yeah, once they went to the bank,
Once they went to the bank,
yeah.
I think my buddy just won a tournament. Oh, Brent Broussard just won a tournament here a week or two ago.
He wasn't live scoping, was he?
And he wasn't live scoping.
I bet Brent wasn't.
Yeah, Brent wasn't live scoping. He was live scoping on his own, on another way, and freaking put it to all these freaking Toledo guys.
I listen. I get the frog and the shallow deal. Zach gets the frog. Zach loves the frog too, don't you, Zach?
No, yeah.
We get that.
Oh, yeah.
We get it. We get the braided, but it's back to the conversation we were having earlier. About what the open is changing and what it's become with the 9. It favors guys that are willing to do what Panger's doing. And I think those are the guys that
yeah,
are going to
for sure.
qualify overall. That's what's going to be qualifying for the elite
The
series.
live scopers are going to qualify. They
Yeah,
will be.
for sure.
You're gonna have them guys like us that's gonna knock one out of the park and just kick their teeth in, but the guys that are going to qualify is going to be the live scopers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a live scoper.
No. I like it. And I'm good with it, but I'm not proficient. Like,
Yeah, I'm not neither.
Panger,
I mean, I can see fish on it.
Panger
I can see fish on it and see my bait on it. No.
I think we got 10 years is all I'm going to say. I'm going to love the next 10 years of fishing.
Yeah.
Because when we were at that event, when we were all at that, like the top 25 at Dardanelle, Steven was over there and Tommy Durham and everything. And Russell was on the phone. And Russell's like, God dang, I should have come to that event. That's a bunch of old bastards all up in the cut. And I was like, yeah, man, a whole bunch of old guys that know how to fish the bank. And the funny thing is like, go live scope when you need a live scope. But man, right now, those young guys are having a hard time learning how to go fish the bank. Or not even the bank. They're having a hard time. The live scope's so addicting. It's so all those hours you just told of Zack King and Bradley Holman and me and Aaron John, those are all hours without live scoping. Those are all hours of us fishing fish, like as Ish Monroe says, legitimate fishing. And
of course he does.
Ish said that on a freaking one of our fantasy deals. He goes, those legit, like we're out there legitimate fishing. So I thought that was so good.
Legitimate.
Yeah. The deal with that is that that's a lot of hours out there just regular fishing. Thousands of hours. So it's funny that when Dardanelle rolls around, the Arkansas River rolls around, there's going to be tons and tons of lakes where what I always say, it's a lot easier for us to learn live scope than live scopers to learn how to fish regular.
Yeah, but I disagree with that because we've got those thousands of hours of catching them.
You're wrong. You just said thousands of hours.
20
years to learn how to fish regular. Live scope's been out 3 years. How good are they in 3 years of live scoping?
Yeah.
So how come it took us 20 years to get really good at that kind of fishing, and it's taken those guys 3 years to get good at live scope? I can learn live scope a lot faster than those guys can learn regular fishing.
There's a bunch of guys with live scope who suck.
Those guys suck. Yes. Those guys suck. But they're not really trying to live scope. They're using live scope differently. They're not actually going out there and learning how to live scope like you should. There's a giant difference between going out there and fishing and using your live scope while you're fishing and going out there and live scoping. Like, you want to go live scope, go turn on live scope for 14 hours.
Here, I got one. Look, fundamentals are gone. They're not gone. Zack's still throwing a Cinco with balls between its legs.
Yeah. They're not gone. They're not gone. Look, I mean, and I did this one time at Kentucky Lake. Everybody was ledges. I caught them son of a guns on the damn bank swimming a jig on docks. And I mean, I put a whooping on them. I was in second after the first day, had 23 pounds doing it, and had a legit chance to do something, but I blew my motor up and I didn't have a shot at it.
Jason
It's going to be that way. I mean, even these kids out there live scoping, them fish are still going to be on the banks. I mean,
I fished a Toyota up there, and Jason Lambert was leading it with like 27 or 28. I rolled in there with like 23, 24 on a frog in like June. And he looked at me, he said, "Did you really catch them on a frog?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, it was awesome." And he was like, "I can't believe you did that." I'm like, "Well, hell, man, it's like, you think they all live out there deep?"
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, I mean, I tried to go out there deep, but shoot, it was pretty darn good shot. I thought 23, 20. I was in the top 10 after day one. I was like, heck yeah.
Hey, I went to St. Clair, This will never start. It's on St. Clair, out of the river. And I went out there and flipped them damn jetties going into them marinas. And I caught the absolute crap out of largemouth. The first day of the tournament, I had almost 20 pounds of largemouth. I had a 6-pounder largemouth. And I'll never forget, I was in the weigh-in line, and Dan Moorhead was beside me, and I was just like up and coming. I was really just starting to fish. And Dan Moore said, I see green in there. And I'm like, yeah, they're all green. And he was like, and I mean, it was like the talk of the place that I had all largemouth and everybody else catch smallmouth. And I had 20 pounds. I had right at 20 pounds. A largemouth.
I know the
And
first
I had
time-
it all to myself.
all to
I
yourself.
did not have to worry about another boat. And I
Well,
caught 100 a day.
It wasn't the same thing, but like when we went to St. Clair for the tour the first year that I'd ever been up there, I finished fifth, I think. Fifth or sixth. I don't know. Anyways, I caught all my fish 4 foot or less.
Yeah.
And everyone else was out there freaking drop shotting and doing this all out there deep, and I'm like, yeah, I caught all mine looking at the bottom. I was catching freaking giants. They were smallmouth though. Smallmouth. But
Right.
I mean, I was just up there freaking covered. I had it all to myself as well.
I had all yourself. Yeah.
All right, I got a disclaimer right here.
No.
St. Clair's off limits to me,
Oh yeah.
but
We didn't say nothing.
we're live right now. Live,
All right.
period. LIVE, 2 hours and 26 minutes. So,
I forgot.
no, you're good. We're live. I don't care. They roll it back on me. I'm sure somebody will be
What time
bitching at
is
some
it?
point. Almond's getting
bedtime.
information on his live broadcast.
Hey, we got
Guys, I'm done.
we got one more day.
It's 10:30.
We
I
got to
gotta
be
go
off the
sleep.
water by 1, right?
Yes.
Hanger, we got to be off the water by 1.
Yeah, I got 7 more hours of throwing a wacky worm, and that's it.
I thought. Do you still have a GoPro on your shirt, man?
What?
Can we hear this? Panger, can you tell this story?
What story?
Read below. This is such a good story. I was there when this got told.
Yeah, but that was just an unfortunate circumstance.
It's a good story.
That was just bad luck.
Then you hooked it, and he was like, I'm going to weigh this son of a bitch in and tell Todd.
You know, listen.
He said, I'm going to name it Todd.
I did. I had a drop shot. Now, listen, you guys think I'm spinning rod. I throw a 7.4 medium heavy with a 2,500 reel with 14-pound test on
I don't
it.
even know what that means.
It means he's got a spinning rod with balls between his legs.
I know.
I have no idea what you just said.
I know
They
that-
don't make
I know
those,
that
Bradley.
spinning rod
They
looks
don't
like
make them.
All I know is that
I know that spinning rod looks like this.
sound like a long
My
rod.
my rod looks like this. And boop, it just boop, when I got like a 10-pounder on, just boop, and yours is. That's what that I don't care.
Tell him the
7.4
story,
spinning
Matt.
rod.
Tell him the story.
And Todd was
No,
over the night before.
Tell the story about the day before the event.
Todd was over the night before or something and was like, there's never been a 30-pound bag ever weighed in on a spinning rod on Sam Rayburn, which is ironic because that tournament there was a 30-pound bag weighed in on a
Did he
spinning.
win?
Yeah, there was a 30-pound bag
Did
weighed
he
in.
win?
What?
Did he win?
That.
All right, keep going.
Anyway, and I was like so pissed because I was catching them, like just because it pissed me off bad. And I said, I'm freaking show him. So I go to my first couple piles in that morning. It's like in 20 foot, and I've got everything beefed up, and I hook a giant like over 10, and I get it stuck in the brush pile, but I'm beefed up, so I pull it out. And I've got a local with me, and it comes up and jumps, and he's like, that's the biggest bass I've seen on Rayburn in 5 years. And I was like, I freaking got her now. Like, got her out, had her on for probably 45 seconds. And she just was bulldogging me. Everything's fine. It just pulls off. Just completely pulls off. Nothing. And I had already decided that I was gonna tell Hank that I named that fish Todd when I weighed it in. Because, it would have been big fish for the tournament easily.
Because I had a 10-minute conversation. Don't throw
And
a
Todd
splinter
had
out of your
said,
pie.
Todd had said you can hook those freaking 10 pluses. He goes, but you got like a 25% chance of actually getting them in the boat. Damn, if I didn't freaking lose 1 over 10 on a freaking spinning rod. I was so pissed.
I mean, I wouldn't give it 25%. I'd give it like 10%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially on spinner rod.
Yeah.
But he had it beefed up.
Yeah, on your beefed
Yeah, you
up
beefed up.
spinning rod.
But hey, I cashed a check on it.
Oh, yay.
I'll give you my rig for a big brush pile. 25-pound fluorocarbon, 3/4 ounce Oldham's jig, black blue with a June bug trailer. Just throw that.
That's too easy. They eat that thing.
I know they eat it. 25-pound line.
No, he's got to trick them into eating it.
No, I'm not tricking them. I just want the dumb big ones. That's what I want. Just like my women.
Yep.
Like I talked about earlier. Dumb.
Yep.
Eat it. I don't
Listen,
want to
all I do, I play the long game, and in the long run, I feel like I get more bites on it around the country. I'm more comfortable with it. I can put it in different positions. I can take the freaking heat with it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with manhood.
Look, I'm not telling you you're doing something wrong. I'm just saying if you want to get that 10 out of that pile, you need a 25-pound fluorocarbon, you need a big jig with a big trailer. That's it.
I would
You
agree.
may not get bid on
I would
time,
agree.
but
That,
you
that
get 'em out.
ups your odds tremendously.
I got, hold on.
We got something over here. We're looking something up. I'm not sure what we got dialing up.
Don't
here.
worry. Just keep going. We're
Tad's in his Castledineisms again.
I don't know. He's searching something on his phone at this point.
all right. You know who Barry Bonds is?
Yeah.
Mark McGuire?
Yeah.
A-Rod?
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa?
You're naming all the dudes who juiced.
Hank Aaron?
Hank Aaron did not juice.
No.
Yeah. Juan Pierre?
I've never heard of Juan Pierre.
Yeah, that's because that's the all-time leading bunter in baseball history. Good night, guys. Good night.
Shit. Good. All right, King, thanks for being on, bro. That was some great panger.
He just named everybody on steroids, though.
He did. He just named everybody on steroids. He could have at least said Babe Ruth.
Everybody on
He
steroids.
could have. He could have at least left it with Babe Ruth.
I think Juan
Oh,
Pierre
my
probably is in the Baseball Hall of Fame, though, and I don't think Mark
Yeah.
McGwire or Sammy Sosa or Barry Bonds is.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, I've traveled all around the country. You're fine with your spinning rod. Let them keep making fun. You'll be just fine. Because like you said, you're playing a long game. And Tad is playing the short game.
I mean, listen, I'll be the first to admit, the short game, it results in a lot more hardware.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Throwing
Put a little piece of, me and Zach just put that little piece of hardware. Yeah.
There's nothing better than a Cinco with balls between its legs.
I guarantee you.
That's as good as it gets.
I can guarantee you.
I'm with Zach. I like a Cinco with balls between its legs too. Do you have a weight on or just weightless? Just straight.
No,
Texas
just
straight?
weightless. Just with his balls.
With its balls.
Dragging behind him.
Yeah.
Dragging.
Dragging.
Just dragging.
Tickling behind it.
You bet.
Oh, boys. This is great. Good luck to both y'all at Toledo Bend. Zach.
Yeah,
thanks
good
for
luck
coming
to you
on.
guys.
2.5 hours.
We're
And,
having Zach
Congratulations
on
on the
way
win.
more now.
Congratulations, Todd. Don't beat my ass too bad.
Panger, best guest of all time, right there. Zach
No,
King.
Matt,
You need to get him on. That's some good
you missed
stuff.
the beginning of this thing. I'm not that excited about
I did. I was out there tying uni to unis to 6-pound fluoro. Sorry.
Uni to uni.
That's so terrible.
It's bad.
Todd still got his braid tied on for two derbies ago. Still
I
practicing
am
with it.
Dude, hey,
for my
I
Floyd.
haven't
Going. It ain't white yet. It's not white yet. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I put on a spinnerbait today. Was the first time I changed anything from going to Dardanelle to here.
I was trying to make sure that my float and fly length was perfect.
God.
That may be my next hat. Cinco with balls.
Dude, we better copyright that because Watson will get that in a heart.
Yeah, he will. He will.
Yeah. I don't think he throws a Cinco though, at all ever.
He throws he loves a weightless French fry.
With balls.
Well,
He was sponsored by Balls Deep for a couple years.
balls deep. Yeah, balls deep tight.
yeah.
I don't think that took off.
They didn't have big enough balls.
All right, boys, let's go to bed. Damn, we've been on this thing for too long. Appreciate
Too
every
long.
one of y'all. We're going to end this thing. Goodbye. Hey, y'all stay on here for a second. I'm going to end this for them, and then we'll have some more balls deep conversations. Good night. Appreciate every one of y'all being here, and we'll see y'all next time. We're out of here.
All right. Yeah.